Their sports IQs, their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hi. No need for a cheesy introduction today. We got a lot to get to. It's not the show that we wanted to do. Let's just be honest with ourselves, ladies and gents. The Lions, they got bullied. And there's no really way around it, so we're not going to dance around the conversation. I'm not even really going to preview the show. I just want to jump right into it, if that's okay. You guys know what the deal is by now. If you don't, real quick, Ben Bosscher here with you as always, Ben Bosscher Show. Kyle Sandel behind the glass today. Wow. Totally shocking result from yesterday's game. And the thing that was the most shocking wasn't necessarily the loss, but how much they got bullied. The Lions last year for 15 games, and really for like 7 of those 15 wins, were just terrorizing the other team. They were the bullies, and that was the team's identity. It wasn't just that they were a good football game with trick plays. They would demoralize the other team and enjoy doing it. Think about that Tennessee game. Think about that Jacksonville game. Even some of the divisional games. The Lions were the big bad bullies between the going for it on fourth down, the run defense, how hard hitting they were, the bruising runs with David Montgomery, held the trick plays, the running up the scores. That was the identity of the Lions the past 2 seasons. And yesterday, they were on the other end of it. If your name's not Isaac Tesla or Sam Laporta, you deserve some blame here. Like, this was a full-on every single person on the team other than those 2 guys was not very good. Like, Laporta and Tesla kind of get a pass, but even a Jake Bates who goes 2 for 2 on the field goals is like, dude, you punted a kick through the back of the end zone twice and put him on the 35-yard line. It's just an all-around terrible game. Coaches including in this, just a disaster from Dan Campbell in terms of the clock management, which continues to be a theme. The 2 new coordinators, not necessarily great debuts for either of them, and Calvin Shepard and John Morton. The offensive line was terrible against the pass and the run. Defensive line couldn't generate any pressure whatsoever. Somewhat of a no-show for Hutch. We'll get into that too. DJ Reed and Terran Arnold both just getting tormented, but I think that was more so to do with the fact that Jordan Love had all the time in the world to throw the ball. The PFF grades haven't come out yet, but if I had to guess around noon when they do, Jordan Love had to have had the longest time to throw of any quarterback in the NFL this weekend. He was under no pressure whatsoever from the first quarter to the very end of the game. He sat there, clean pocket, and was able to dissect this team, which kind of refuses to make any adjustments in the middle of the game. They have their identity on defense. They want to use the 3 linebackers. They don't want to be in nickel. They want to load up and stop you from running the football. The problem is the Packers said, that's fine. We're just going to air the ball out and destroy you down the field because you're not going to get home on any of these blitzes. Packers controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That's the reason that the Lions lost. And it's the reason that the Lions won 15 games last year, because they never got dominated at the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball. So to see them do that and be that out of control in the game so early on, and then it never fix itself, that was, to me, the biggest red flag going in to the game. And, you know, the biggest red flag, the biggest worry we had with this Detroit Lions team going into the year had to have been the interior of the offensive line. We knew that the O-line wasn't going to be this dominant number one unit in the NFL again. We expected a little bit of regression. What we didn't expect was for them to be an absolute disaster to the point where it hindered the Lions' ability to have not just a good offense, but a functioning offense. 0 explosive plays for this group for 4 straight quarters. And when the offensive line, specifically the interior, is going to be that bad, it does 2 things. One, it's going to result in a poor Jared Goff game. We know Jared Goff under pressure versus when he's not under pressure are 2 completely different quarterbacks. When he's getting pressured from the interior, there's only so much he can do because he doesn't have the speed to outrun these guys or buy himself any time. It's going to result in a ton of checkdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs led the team in targets and receptions with 10 of them, but none of them went more than 6 yards. He was sacked 4 times, 9 QB hits. I'm guessing upwards of 15 to 20 pressures. We'll find that out in a short amount of time when these PFF grades come out. But, man, he was just under pressure the entire time, had no time to throw the ball down the field. I can't recall one single Jameson Williams deep bomb attempt or a Sam Laporta thing. Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra both had a reception of about 20 yards. But besides that, there was no explosiveness down the field whatsoever. It felt like Jameson Williams, who is a paid man, by the way, now, the 3-year extension signed through 2029, it felt like he was almost non-existent throughout the course of the game, too, because Goff was under pressure so fast every single time. The second thing that it does is obviously result in a sluggish running game. 2.1 yards per rush. There's a stat for you. It's the lowest yards per rush for a Detroit Lions team since 2023 Week 6 against Tampa Bay. They couldn't move the ball on the ground, which led to all these 3rd and longs, and we already went over. Jared Goff had no time to let the routes develop down the field. So if the interior offensive line is going to be that poor and result in those 2 things, I got bad news for everyone. That doesn't seem like a Week 1 fluke. Like, remember last year, Week 2 against Tampa, when it was like, yeah, that was weird. They couldn't figure it out in the red zone. That was a fluke. With how bad the offensive line was yesterday, specifically those guys in the middle between a washed-up Graham Glasgow, who was terrible at the end of last season, 9 pressures he allowed in that playoff game. Got some thoughts on that in a second. And then the Christian Mahogany, who's had 2 starts coming into yesterday, Tate Ratledge, obviously the rookie. The trio of those guys in the middle lost basically every rep they possibly could have, especially when they lined up Micah Parsons over the middle, who, by the way, was the best player on the field yesterday, even though he had, 10 snaps? Significantly outperformed Aiden Hutchinson. When he lined up over Penei Sewell, he won just about every single matchup. Thought Sewell had a particularly awful game walking around Midland in his jersey yesterday. Didn't feel very good because Micah Parsons lit him up and put him on skates a few times. Rashawn Gary destroyed Taylor Decker, almost resulted in a safety. And then Tate Ratledge and those guys in the middle, just confused, it looked like. Every single play. When that's going to be the case, this is going to be a long season. This is going to be a long season if that's going to be the case every single game. And honestly, guys, I don't have a reason to sit here and say that it's going to be different right now because of how much they got dominated. And after the game, there was 3 things that I couldn't stop thinking about specifically regarding this offensive line. One, I wish Graham Glasgow would have been the player that the Lions were to have cut to save money rather than Zadarius Smith. If you would have cut Graham Glasgow, you would have saved $11 million over the next 2 seasons, which is the exact number you saved over 2 seasons by cutting Zadarius Smith. I wish that would have been Graham Glasgow because he was once again terrible yesterday. 9 pressures he allowed in that playoff game. Let's just put this into perspective. Kevin Zeitler didn't allow more than 3 pressures once last season. Not once. So I wish they would have cut Graham Glasgow. And again, 2020 is always hindsight, but I wish that would have been the player they cut for cap savings rather than Zadarius Smith, because they really could have used Zadarius Smith out there yesterday. And then the second thing would be, kind of to go with that, I wish Kevin Zeitler was still around. Man, having Kevin Zeitler on this team would have been a huge addition, and I don't know if they would have asked him to play center for the first time or if Tate Ratledge would have just, taken over for that spot. But clearly he was the better player than Graham Glasgow last season, and it continues to blow my mind that they let him walk for just $9 million. That's how much he signed with for Tennessee. He was on a $6 million deal last year. I remember, 2 days after the playoffs ended for the Detroit Lions last year, we put out a pyramid of the most important guys to bring back. Kevin Zeitler was at the top of that pyramid for me, over the likes of Dan Skipper or Levi Wunzurike or Carlton Davis. The guys that I wanted to bring back more than anybody was Kevin Zeitler because of how important he was to this offensive line. And you saw the consequences of not bringing him back yesterday because you had a trio of brand new guys. Which results, which brings me to the third thing that I couldn't stop thinking about. And this is such an unfair thing to be upset with. It's really not fair to this person, but I can't help myself but to think about it. Frank Ragnow waiting until June to retire, screwed over the Lions in a way that I don't think we could have comprehended at the time. And I'm not specifically mad at this person, but the timing of it is just extremely unfortunate. Because if he would have just retired at the end of the season or, before free agency started and given the Lions time to prepare a plan rather than a 33-year-old washed-up guard who you're moving over to center and two guys who have barely played any NFL games, if not haven't played an NFL game, you could have went and signed Ryan Kelly for $9 million, who ended up not only not signing with you, but signing with Minnesota this offseason. There's no logical way I should be mad at Frank Ragnow. I'm not mad. But man, him retiring when he did hurt the Lions in a way that I don't think we really comprehended at the time. It wasn't just the loss of him. It was, how are you going to replace him now that free agency's over and the draft has already happened? If the O-line is going to be that bad, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. My panic meter's probably at a 6. Which honestly seems conservative based on how bad they were yesterday. Dominated in every fashion. And that was the backbone of this Lions team the last couple of years. And if they're losing out on that, I guess I don't really know how they fix it. Because their quarterback is immobile, which I'm not even saying is a negative thing. But if you're getting pressure from the interior and you have an immobile quarterback, how are explosive plays supposed to generate down the field? How are you supposed to develop this running game that is so important to Jared Goff's play action? I'm at a 6, guys. I don't know if that's high. I don't know if that's low, but there's definitely real concern with this Detroit Lions team the rest of the season. And I don't mean to put too much pressure on this next game against Chicago, but I don't know if anyone's peeked at the schedule. You got to go to Baltimore week 3. And for those of you who saw the Ravens yesterday, I know they ended up losing that game. But man, that does not look very fun to go against as a defense, does it? Derrick Henry's still that guy. Lamar Jackson's still that guy. That goes without saying. You're going to have to play in a week 3 game on the road Monday night against Baltimore, which means next week against Chicago is a must-win unless you want to start the season 0-3. There's a lot of pressure on this Lions team next week, guys. They're going to have to figure this thing out a lot faster than we realized. That 12, 13 wins that Kyle and I predicted before the season started, man, if there was one thing that was going to haunt the Lions and hold them back from that happening, it was, how is the interior of the offensive line going to hold up? Well, early answers to that, not very well. 989-837-6125. Are you in a full-on panic for this Detroit Lions team? What's your panic meter at 1 to 10? I'm sitting there at a 6, and that almost feels conservative. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this too. 989-837-6125. We'll get into some of the coaching disasters from this weekend. We'll hold off on Chip Lindsey. We'll get into him tomorrow, because if we're talking about coaching malpractice, Chip Lindsey is the first guy that comes to mind from this weekend for the Michigan Wolverines. But let's stick with the Lions today. It's a team we can all get behind. We'll save college stuff for tomorrow. But man, 989-837-6125. This Detroit Lions team bullied by the Green Bay Packers is the best way I can put it. We'll get to some Mitt messages. You guys can drop a comment in the YouTube section as well. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Ah, bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run! Get out.
Ah!
Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day, interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
What's your panic meter at with this Detroit Lions team? I'm sitting there at a 6, and that almost feels conservative. We got a texter coming in. Happy Monday, guys. Brutal weekend. Lions, Tigers, both lost. Lost all my parlays. That's always tough, too. I guess this person didn't actually say what their panic meter was, but that's fine. You know, just kind of bad vibes this weekend from that texter. That's totally fine, too. Bad vibes just all around, especially if you, lost fantasy, lost your bets. Just a terrible weekend all around for the Detroit teams, especially if you're a Michigan, Tigers, Lions fan. A lot of L's being handed around. What's your panic meter at right now, Kyle? Because 6 almost feels conservative. Because I'm sitting here and I'm trying not to wave the flag of the season's over and freak out. I don't want to overreact to week 1 because it's week 1 at the end of the day. And I don't have any doubt that the offensive line, specifically Ratledge and Mahogany, they're going to get better as the season goes on. But I didn't expect them to be that bad. They were lost out there. And if there's going to be pressure coming from the middle, if they don't get significantly better from now until week 18, which they will, but this isn't a playoff team. As much as the weapons are great and the pass catchers are phenomenal, like if the offensive line is that much of a weakness, especially from the interior, they're not winning a Super Bowl this year. No chance.
Well, I guess when you ask about the panic meter stuff, like what are you basing the meter on? The fact that this team won't win the division now, this team won't make the playoffs now, or they won't win the Super Bowl. Like that's kind of where I have to figure out what we're scaling this on because
well, where does your mind go? Because
my mind goes.
It's hard to say that the Packers don't, aren't favorites.
The Packers
at this
look
point
like the
to win
best team in the division. Yeah, and that's something that I didn't really. Not that I didn't consider it. Of course I considered it because the Packers were favorites to win the division. But just more of like I still felt confident in Detroit to win the division pretty heavily. And I know it's just week one, and I do think that sometimes when we go so long without football, you take everything that happens in week one at face value and you just run with it. But at the same time, this can't be one of those games where we're just like, it's week one. Like the Lions they'll figure it out. It's early in the season. They lost to the Bucs early last year. They've had an early season loss in nearly the last 3 seasons when they've been good under Dan Campbell. Because of the way that they lost is why I think we can't consider that way.
In the trenches.
Yeah, and just every single category you lost in. There wasn't one spot that you were like, yeah, they outplayed the Packers there. The offense was way worse. The defense was way worse. The special teams was tremendously worse.
Oh, my God. The special teams, David Phipp is like legitimately on watch. If we're talking about who had the worst performance of all the coordinators, it's probably Dave Phipp.
Yeah.
Penalties, bad returns. No one got past the 25-yard line.
It's stuff that, at least you think, okay, we can clean this up because penalties obviously are all procedural stuff that you can fix internally. But it's also the most frustrating stuff that happens, the amount of penalties that they had early in this game. And it's just, I felt like the scheme itself was also just very questionable as far as getting to Jordan Love because clearly that's how their offense was moving. I'll be first to say it. I don't think Jordan Love was like insane by any means.
Well, he had all the time in the world to throw the ball.
I don't think he didn't pop off my screen like, wow, Jordan Love, he really does look like the quarterback that's taken this crazy leap this season. I mean, yeah, he looked really good.
Because
but he
had
didn't have to do
all
anything
the
crazy.
time in the world to throw the ball. Right. There's, I mentioned Jared Goff probably is the least amount of time to throw once these PFF grades come out. I can't imagine Jordan Love is anything but the number one quarterback for time to throw. He sat there for what felt like 6 seconds sometimes, which I know isn't that long, but that's an eternity for an NFL quarterback. You just sit there and find open guys down the field. Maybe, just maybe, Calvin Shepard, you should actually use your best edge rusher, one of the best guys in the league, who was somewhat non-existent yesterday, to get after the quarterback rather than drop him back into coverage. Like, I noticed that twice in the first quarter. Aiden Hutchinson dropping back into coverage. What the hell is that?
I don't know if they were just trying to get cute, and they were, because we saw them do a little bit of that last season, but when clearly it'd be different if other guys were getting to the passer, and you just want to kind of switch up a look just to maybe throw off Jordan Love. He was never under pressure the whole time, so the fact that you took away the only guy that even had a chance to get to him was quite frustrating. And then on the flip side, the way that Green Bay was using Micah Parsons as a gadget early in that game was just, I mean, it was out-coaching on both sides of the football, like to an elite level from Green Bay, and whereas the Detroit coaching staff was very poor. And so as far as in terms of a panic meter for me, I still think I am going to give Detroit the benefit of the doubt because, to your point, you really do have to assume that the offensive line, it only goes up from here with the young guys on that staff. Tate Ratledge, I wouldn't even say that he was bad. I think he was just confused more than anything.
Well, thank God he's not playing center then.
Which is concerning. And that's what I was going to say. When you bring up they should have cut Graham Glasgow, what, we're putting Tate Ratledge at center? You thought there would be anything better there?
Throw Zeitler there, man. I don't know. I don't know exactly how Graham Glasgow is going to grade out, but I can't imagine it's very good. I'm very curious to see how many pressures were his fault versus the rookies next to him. Or I guess I keep calling Mahogany a rookie. I know he started 2 games last year, but
I mean, Ratledge just had several plays where he straight up just went the wrong direction immediately off the snap.
Well, that drive, the lack of drive they had, where the first play was almost a safety because Rashawn Gary, just bull rushed Taylor Decker back into Jared Goff, and he was lucky to get out of the end zone. The 2 plays after that were like, what are you guys doing in the middle? Like, I don't even think you guys know where you are.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as we can sit here and trash on Ratledge, it wasn't even the fact that he was just bad getting beat a bunch. It was just straight up very confused on the scheme of which way the Lions were running or confused by the Packers defense that was throwing them a ton of different looks. So
you got to give credit to Jeff Hafley, too.
That's what I'm saying.
The Packers defensive coordinator, because they constantly were
Masterclass.
moving Micah around. They were doing the stunts. They knew they could confuse the interior of the offensive line for the Lions. And that's exactly what they did, constantly generating pressure on Jared Goff. 9 QB hits, 4 sacks. I'm guessing like 15 to 20 pressures, which is a crazy number. And I can't imagine Hutch had more than 2. 3.
No, I mean, as a team, like we saw that stat from Ryan Lathrop in our YouTube chat. Micah Parsons had more pressures and sacks in 15 snaps than the Lions did the whole game.
Man, not only did Jeff Hafley completely run circles around John Morton, and I see a lot of people trashing John Morton, but like at the end of the day, if the offensive line's going to play like that, I'm not exactly sure what John Morton's supposed to do.
Yeah, it results in 10 checkdowns to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Right. I thought Calvin Shepard got outcoached just as equally. Like, the perfect example of that is early in the game, you see the press coverage, Terrion Arnold trying to guard Jaden Reed. They run that little screen route, and then he just takes off to the end zone, the pick play. You know what I'm talking about? Where Terrion Arnold basically gets walled off, have to go under it. Boom, easy touchdown. Like, they recognize the press that Calvin Shepard kind of didn't change from the entire course of the game. They have these 3 linebackers. They're not going to let you run on them. If there's one thing the Lions did yesterday, it was kind of, I don't want to say bottle up Josh Jacobs, but he had a tough time generating explosive runs. That doesn't change the fact that it felt like he was kind of running downhill through the linebackers rather than, getting stopped by the linebackers. Felt like he was always picking up an extra couple of yards. But the run defense was fine. They're going to be built on that. And they're going to run more three linebacker sets than anybody this year in the NFL. But it makes you wonder, like, man, if you're getting torched like that and not getting to the quarterback, wouldn't you rather just have Amik Robertson out there as the nickel? And he ended up coming in as the outside guy because Terrion Arnold ended up going down. But, man, it just felt like from all aspects of the game, both Dave Phipp, I mean, I don't know if you can get out-coached on special teams. You can just have a really poor
bad, yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Still not really sure why Grant Stewart is returning kicks. You have a linebacker out there returning kicks. You have a practice squad guy that just got elevated for the game out there as well in Sailors. Khalif Raymond burning 11 seconds off the clock to end the half at the punt to not even give yourself a chance on that drive. But you know who the real killer was on that drive? Was Dan Campbell. Man, they had it was 3rd and 5 with 40 seconds left, or 3rd and 2, 40 seconds left in the half. You could have called a timeout. You get a stop, you get the ball back with 40 seconds. Look, I'm not sure they could have scored anyway and moved the ball up and down the field that fast. But hell, you could have at least given yourself a chance with 35 seconds left and 2 timeouts to get back into field goal range. They end up letting 20 seconds come off the clock. They don't snap the ball until there's 20 seconds left, and then they end up getting the stop. He calls the timeout anyway, and then boom, they punt the ball away, and you don't even have a chance to have a drive. Like, that was bad clock management from Dan Campbell once again. And I will defend the 4th down attempts. I'll defend all the aggression. The clock management has been the one thing for Dan Campbell that has continuously come back to bite him. That's the one thing that he has. It feels like he's hurting the team with on a consistent basis. The clock management.
I honestly,
13-year-olds that know how to do this playing Madden.
I didn't hate the non-timeout call, if I'm being honest. The Lions' offense clearly needed a regrouping at the half, and I thought that it was just time to take it in the half and figure things out. There was no shot that they were going to get the ball down the field in time for a field goal. They were just that the interception was on the drive before that. It was clear they needed to get together and talk things over offensively. And
how'd that go? Did that change anything?
Would 3 extra points at the end of the half would have changed anything?
Probably not. And that's the biggest concern for me. I'm sitting here at a 6, and now, like, the more I talk it out loud, it feels like I need to bump it up another number. But you never gave me a number.
I'm probably right below you. I would say probably like a 5, maybe a little bit above a 5, a 5.5. I will give them the benefit of the doubt because Green Bay played really well, and I think that at the end of the day, that's just a really good team. I don't think this Lions team is going to be bad by any means, but the fact that there is stuff to fix in every category, that's the biggest concerning thing.
You lost both the line of scrimmage game on both sides of the ball. That's the biggest concern because that's been the identity for the Detroit Lions for 3 years now. You win up front, and they did not win up front at all yesterday. That's my biggest concern. Otherwise, you're searching for a new identity if you're the Detroit Lions. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Mitt messages when we come back. We'll hit the news as well. Tough weekend if you're banking on any Detroit Lions Super Bowl tickets or anything like that. I know I certainly am, but wow. Just a punch in the mouth to start the season without a doubt. Hey, just because it's fall, just because football's here, doesn't mean you can't get a few more rounds of golf in. And if you're like me, you're looking for new places to play, golfers look no further. Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection. Championship-level courses, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain Restaurant, perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're just playing for score or soaking up the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away but miles from ordinary. Again, 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Mitt messages. Need your thoughts on the Detroit Lions loss. Who's to blame? Where's your panic meter at? Just vent to us here. That's what we're going to be here for until noon. 989-837-6125. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook. If you're enjoying the YouTube stream, hit that subscribe button. Looking to get that subscriber count up as much as possible throughout the course of this football season. So if you like it, just take a second. Only takes a second, and hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ugh, the outside of my house needs a total makeover. The siding is faded, the gutters are falling off, and the roof is leaking.
What is that falling from the sky?
Super Bresky!
Who are you?
Super Bresky!
Excuse me?
I'm here to tell you, Bresky Siding and Building Repair can fix your house in no time. All you have to do is call my dad, and your house will look as good as new.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt. Mid-Michigan sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). How about we get to a couple of your guys' messages here reacting to this Detroit Lions team, posing a couple different questions. Where's your panic meter at, and what was your biggest takeaway with this Detroit Lions team? To me, the biggest takeaway is this offensive line is a problem, especially the interior guys. We knew they'd take a step back. What we didn't know is they'd take one giant leap backwards, maybe even two of them. And if they're going to not drastically improve by the end of the year, I don't know how I can sit here and say they're a Super Bowl contender. Again, I don't want to overreact because it's week one, but not really an avenue to be a successful football team if the interior of your offensive line is that bad. So let's get some of your thoughts. 989-837-6125. Unnamed texter here. This one says, I would have to think the Lions had some inkling that Ragnow was thinking about retiring way before the announcement. Yes, I agree. I agree with you, but how soon before? Like, he should have just made a decision. And now we're getting into something that's, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm mad at Frank Ragnow, but if he would have retired way earlier on in the offseason, that would have at least given them a chance to go sign a free agent like Ryan Kelly. And even if they had an inkling on it, it was like, well, he might still be around, so we're not going to go spend $9 million on a free agent center. It's a dumb thing to be mad about, but there's just so many, emotions and feelings after a loss like that. And one thing that did cross my mind was like, man, Frank Ragnow waiting until June to retire definitely hurt the Lions in a way that I don't think we understood at the time. Past free agency, past the draft. I think you're right that they had an inkling on it because otherwise I don't think they would have drafted two different centers or two different interior offensive linemen, Miles Frazier being the other one who's still hurt. But yeah, really tough timing on the Frank Ragnow injury. Think he'd be down to come play?
Oh, they might. I mean,
give him the call.
They're at least going to want him to come back. I doubt he wants to, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is probably the way to lean here after this game one thing. Like, just kind of, hey, let's hope Frank Ragnow comes out of retirement.
No.
Obviously, it's something that you think about, but
it's a dumb thing to be mad about. But it's definitely like looking back, like, why'd you wait until June, man?
Right.
It hurt the Lions.
Yeah, it did
in a big way. Panic meter's at a 4. This is from another texter. Panic meter's at a 4. I feel like this always happens when you don't let any starters play in the preseason. I think they'll figure it out, and this will be another topic in December of us going, man, remember when they lost to the Packers? How did that happen? Just got to hope. That's one way to think about this. And you're right, there is always some bad week one games. It didn't really feel like anybody dominated and had great showings other than the Colts literally just beating the hell out of the Dolphins for 4 quarters. Nobody else showed up and was like, wow, look at them. They're a Super Bowl contender. No one had games like that. It's week one. The difference between a team week 1 and week 2 is usually the biggest difference in an NFL season. Everyone cleans up their tape, but it's just the fundamental principle of okay, if the interior of your offensive line can't hold up against the run or the pass and your defensive line isn't going to get home, that can cause some fundamental problems. And looking back, it's the audacity of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to basically shrug off why do we need Zadarius Smith? Why would we need that? Meanwhile, the Packers are going after Micah Parsons, and the Eagles end up with the team with Zadarius Smith. It's that's pretty naive of you guys to just say, we're all good here. We don't need an extra pass rusher. And Brad Holmes always acting like it's just egregious that we ask him about it when he has his press conferences and he gets asked about the edge rusher. For him to play the card of I don't know why you guys keep asking me about this. We have one superstar edge rusher. Yesterday's why. Because you couldn't get home to the quarterback. Aiden Hutchinson, I don't want to say no-show, but definitely wasn't one of his best games. An extra edge rusher would have really, really helped the Lions yesterday. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the part when you talk about them getting beat in specific spots, like the interior offensive line stuff and then the added no pressure stuff. Those are the two nearly most fundamental parts of the game. And the fact that they were just dominated in both of them in that way. I thought Green Bay did a really good job scheming against Aiden Hutchinson. But to your point, like if there's someone else there that can bring a little bit extra pressure, then that changes things.
And Ali McNeil will be that guy, but he's not coming back until the end of October at the earliest.
Right.
So why do you just ignore? What was the point of cutting Zadarius Smith to save money? Tell someone answer me that. Like, why can't someone ask Brad Holmes, you cut Zadarius Smith, you saved $11 million over 2 years. The hell did you spend that money on? Because you know what we could really use right now? Another edge rusher. Doesn't make sense, man. And Zadarius only on a 1-year deal, by the way. It's not like anyone gave him some long-term deal. Ryan in the YouTube chat says, panic meter's at a 6. You lose to Chicago, it's at a 9, though, because if you lose there, you're starting 0-3. Totally agree. Look at the Lions' schedule, man. They're not – I'm sorry, you watched that game yesterday night, Buffalo versus Baltimore. Lions would have got their faces kicked in by either one of those teams yesterday. Either one. No chance the Lions can stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson if they're going to play like that. So I'm just writing in week 3 as a loss. And I was already doing that prior to the game last night. Like, I thought Baltimore was the best team in the league, and I'm walking around my apartment for 3 quarters like I'm the smartest guy in the world. They are the best team in the league. Like, look how dominant they are. Buffalo can't stop them. Of course, Baltimore does the most Baltimore thing ever. Do you remember how bad they were in the 4th quarter last year?
Yeah.
Just
especially
right back to
early
square
in the
one.
Season, yeah, and it's just exactly what it was.
Baltimore, one of the funnier teams, but yeah, I can't envision the Lions walking out of Baltimore with a win.
And that's why I think tonight's game is honestly particularly fun to watch from the Lions' perspective, because if Chicago looks good, at least better than we expect them to, you really start to feel shaky next week. Like, man, this actually is a week 2 must-win game.
Yep. Nothing like a good old week 2 must-win. You know, there were some people calling week 1 a must-win
this game.
There were some people calling week 1 a must-win game.
Right.
I don't know if that's ever possible.
No, I don't think that really exists.
But week 2 must-win games, we're literally staring down the barrel of one. A couple more texts here. Every year, or this one's from Eric. Every year, Campbell does not play starters in the preseason. They always start slow and sloppy. This year, it'll be more important to see what they're what they are on offense. I believe they're going to get better. But wow, that was bad. Yeah, look, there's a reason they start sloppy, but I don't think it's because they don't play in the preseason. I mean, they beat Kansas City 2 years ago, week 1.
Right.
You know what I mean? They beat the Rams in a really strong, that Rams
really good
team was,
game last year, yeah.
That Rams team was really tough last season, especially before everyone got banged up in the middle of the year.
No, and you could make the argument that maybe you would have liked to seen this offensive line group have a preseason game together. I could see that argument just because clearly it straight up seemed like they were not prepared. It seemed like they were just not ready to go in this game with the amount of mistakes that were made. So
and they got
I could
bullied.
see that argument, yeah.
They got bullied. I mean, look, you're not going to play Taylor Decker, who is dealing with injuries in preseason, or Penei Sewell in preseason. You're just not going to do it. It's not worth the risk.
But Graham Glasgow moving back to center for the first time in several seasons.
Yeah, would have liked that.
Yeah, Mahogany, at least, who had only gotten 2 starts, maybe get him some action. Obviously, Tate Ratledge was out there a little bit in preseason early on. But, yeah, this entire unit, it would have been nice to see them together. I could see that argument.
I don't think I've said more than, I don't think I've ever actually said a bad thing about Penei Sewell on this show, even back to the 6 o'clock payoff show. Like, he's perfect to me. He's the model Detroit line, doesn't make mistakes. He was bad yesterday. Like, Micah Parsons was consistently winning reps against him. He got put on skates one time and dropped down to a knee because Parsons pushed him around so bad. Man, Parsons that guy's different. Like, he really is. I think Aiden Hutchinson is one of the best defenders in the world when he's going, but those guys shared the field yesterday, and it wasn't particularly close.
And you know, I'll say, this is the first time I've really felt this in a while where the Lions were playing a game that was, technically it's not a prime time game, but a national TV slot game, where the story was not about them.
No.
You know?
Oh, my God, no.
That was, it was all, there was just zero conversation on the broadcast not happening during the game that wasn't about the Lions. It was all about Green Bay, and that was the first time in at least 2 seasons that's been the case. And it felt weird, and obviously it kind of played into the game because Green Bay had the story coming in, and then they backed it up with the play.
Micah Parsons, his lone sack, he had a lot of pressures in his limited snaps, but the lone sack he had when he chased down Jared Goff, the replay of that is like,
and they went crazy.
It's frightening
as well. Yeah,
it's frightening how he basically got double teamed and through a second aggression, a second push, just like threw around Christian Mahogany, got through and just chased down Goff in a way that was like, man, this is twice a year for the foreseeable future. He's a problem. He really is. As much as, he got talked about this offseason, he backs it up when he gets onto the field. He's one dangerous dude. And that obviously goes without saying. One more text message here. Two more. The season's, wow. I don't even know if I want to do this. The season's over. Brad Holmes did zero to address the offensive line. What's glaring was how bad Jared Goff was when he's pressed.
The season's over.
The season's over.
Oh,
a little egregious. This person also went on to say, I think Hutchinson is toast. He's not the same player. He's not the same player, and the Lions better wait to re-sign him. I have a feeling his explosive ability is gone. Look, there's literally zero scenario where he's not getting signed to a long-term extension. Like, that's just not happening. He's going to get signed to a
season, though.
Huh?
He said he didn't this offseason, though.
Yeah, but what, you think it's just not going to happen now? No, he's going to be signed to a long-term deal.
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't even talked about the JMO extension yet. That was actually a great deal, other than the fact that he had, 3 receptions yesterday. It didn't look like a great deal yesterday, but ideally it is if you can hold up. But you're not going to be able to connect with Jameson Williams down the field if you're getting pressured from the interior of the offensive line throughout the course of the entire game. Like, it's one thing to have pressure from the edge spot on the outside. Jared Goff can at least see that coming. When it's from the middle, he's got no chance of survival. And you saw that yesterday. And if that's going to be the case, Jameson Williams isn't going to be as effective as a player. Jameer Gibbs isn't going to be as effective as a player. By the way, what was up with his shoes? He just kept slipping and sliding
all over
around
the place.
the entire
he must have
field.
had the short cleats going with the short spikes on him because, and Love slipped a couple times too. It seemed like everybody couldn't get their footing there yesterday.
Just a disappointing game all around yesterday from the Detroit Lions. Need more of your thoughts, 989-837-6125. Where's your panic meter at? And what was your biggest takeaway with this Detroit Lions team? Are you worried about the interior of the offensive line? Because I certainly am. 989-837-6125. Locally owned and proudly family operated right here in the heart of Midland. Yeah, I'm talking about Ace Hardware and Sports. Take advantage of the $3 off Ortho Weed Killer, proven power to take your yard back before fall, or go bigger with the $10 off Spruce Weed and Grass Killer. Tough on the weeds, easy on your wallet. Visit them at East Main Street in downtown Midland, right where local service meets big-time savings. You can also stop and get a donut in there as well. Sporting your yard and your community all in one stop. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Man, I really thought we were going to be doing a Victory Monday. It's the first post-NFL Monday here on the Ben Bosscher Show, live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Got to recap a devastating Detroit Lions loss. We're saving the college stuff for tomorrow, so need your thoughts on this Detroit Lions team here for another couple hours. 989-837-6125. Again, it's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Terry Johnson, President and CEO of Greater Midland.
And so spending the time at Dow just gave me such experiences professionally, personally, growth, things around travel, just experiences and opportunities that I could have never imagined even when I was in school. And so, taking the time and finalizing, okay, this is the time to tap out at Dow and to look at what's the next adventure in my journey. And Greater Midland has always been part of my journey as well, being part of the board structures for many, many years and knowing that my kids grew up in the center and my husband and I are very active and it's home for me.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Get ready, Michigan,
Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community, bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition, the Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools, a $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open Tournament, and a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldoframesfest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
At Scott Family Dental, we treat every patient like family because it's in our name. Our office culture is built on trust, comfort, and care, just like you'd want for your own loved ones. We don't sign contracts with insurance companies, so we can offer the highest quality dental care without compromise. That means your treatment is based on what's best for you, not an insurance plan. Scott Family Dental, compassionate care, lasting smiles.
Visit scottfamdental.com to schedule today.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, you want to buy and sell a few things while we're here? We don't have too much time in this segment, but I think we got enough time to squeak in some stock market exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving!
The stock market.
The show goes on!
All right, Kyle, what are you selling? What are you buying from the first weekend of NFL Sunday? Really just NFL stuff all weekend long.
Okay.
See how much we can fit in this segment.
All right, the first thing I'm going to buy seems pretty obvious time to buy this Ravens stock, right? I mean, they were just absolutely dominating the Bills all game, and you kind of felt like, wow, this team is for sure the best team in the entire NFL, and then they end up losing.
Crazy.
and a ton of like season-long odds just shifted in the middle of that game as far as like Bills stuff, MVP stuff between Lamar and Josh Allen. I still think nonetheless those are the two best teams in the league. Like I know the Ravens are 0-1, whatever. Those are the two best teams in football. Not a doubt in my mind. So I think it's a perfect time to buy Ravens stock right now is after a loss.
Okay. Two best teams in football. Eagles don't get any love here?
No, I don't think so. I do think it's just those two right now in their own tier.
Okay.
It's early, obviously.
What about the Colts? Just a dominant performance against the Miami Dolphins. You don't think the Colts are in there? Danny Dimes? No?
Okay.
Interesting. I'm going to sell my Steelers stock.
Saw this one coming.
Yeah, no chance. Their defense got absolutely shredded by Justin Fields. That is not sustainable. TJ Watt made a couple plays late into the game, but there's just no way the Steelers team is doing that against real defenses in the NFL. There's no way they're doing that against real offenses in the NFL. This screams like you started out the season with a win, and then you will regress back to the means, which I believe is below average for them. So I'm all good on the Steelers. I'll sell that stock even after starting 1-0.
I don't know how I feel about them, man. I might have to sit on the stock for them right now just because, I mean, they're going up against a really good defense as well, just like the Jets did, and their offense looked pretty good.
Are they going up against a good defense?
Ramsey kind of came in clutch. Like, I love the chippiness there in that game. I think I'm waiting on my Steelers stock a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not selling on it right now.
I'm definitely out on it.
What I am going to sell, though, is all of the mid-tier quarterbacks that played good. I'm selling stock on all of them.
You mean everyone from the 1 o'clock slate?
Right, essentially, yes. Daniel Jones. I'm not counting Geno Smith, by the way, because Geno Smith is not in a mid-tier. But even like Michael Penix, who at the end of the game obviously has that bad play that loses, Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers, all those guys that just had good games that are not going to have fully long good seasons. I'm selling my stock on all of them.
Okay, I like that. I'll sell my stock on Aaron Rodgers.
You just sold your stock on the Steelers. I feel like that implies.
No, I'd like to specifically sell my stock on Aaron Rodgers.
Got it.
4 touchdowns. I bet that doesn't happen the rest of the year. I'd feel pretty confident saying that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He looked like afraid to be hit or like get shoved, and I'm watching this game in the first half like this is going to be a disaster. Somehow ends up finding 4 different touchdowns throughout the course of the game, but he can't move and he doesn't want to get hit. That is not sustainable in this league. So I'll go ahead and sell my stock going up against that Jets defense and somehow coming away with 4 touchdowns. So I'm good on
How about
Aaron
that
Rodgers.
game, man? I mean, that game ended up being the highlight of the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah, I guess
would say
it did.
so. I mean, it was a really good game. Like, very, very surprised by it.
I thought the highlight of the 1 o'clock slate would be the Jaguars just running up the score on
Mother Nature came into play.
Yeah,
though.
that was deflating to say the least.
You thought Jaguars-Panthers was going to be the highlight of the 1 o'clock slate.
I was just excited to watch Travis Hunter and how they were going to use him, but that got put on to there's a 2-hour delay there.
Bryce Young couldn't really get it done either.
What'd you just call him?
Bryce
Young?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Bryce Young. He was just bad.
Yeah. That was a fun little run in the offseason when he thought he might be good. All right, more on the Lions when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Looking for a job can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. But at Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, they've got the magnet. Whether you're looking for steady work in manufacturing, a fresh start in the office, or the right people to grow your business, they make the match simple. Local recruiters, real relationships, and opportunities that fit you. That's the Spherion difference. Find your perfect fit today. Visit Spherion.com/Midland. Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, where opportunity works.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
(989) 837-6125. Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. I thought I'd be much more angry today doing the show, but it's not even a sense of anger and more just like a wow. Like there is some real reason for concern with this Detroit Lions team, and I'm not going to overreact and spiral out of control and start saying that the Lions, era is over and the Super Bowl window's closed. I don't think that's the case, and I'm not going to say that after one football game. But that doesn't seem fluky. Like last year against Tampa Bay, when they couldn't score in the red zone, that seemed fluky, like it wasn't going to be sustainable. And sure enough, the next week, they put up some points against Arizona, and then the next week they just absolutely dominate that Seahawks team and can't be stopped on offense. This is a little different than that. This is stuff that, fundamentally you can't have that much loss from the interior of the offensive line. And when I say loss, I mean turnover at the position and just losses, with reps one-on-one throughout the course of the game. If that's going to be the case with the quarterback that you have as your guy under center, it's just not going to work. It's so important for the Detroit Lions to establish the run game early on. They couldn't do that against the Packers. There was no explosive runs. Jahmyr Gibbs, his longest play of the day was a 6-yard Texas route that Jared Goff threw to him over in the middle of the field. And he couldn't generate anything. He was slipping. There was 4 Packers at the spot of every tackle. David Montgomery had a hard time getting things going as well. They didn't take any deep shots to Jamison Williams because he didn't have time to get himself open down the field because Jared Goff was under pressure basically immediately. I've got a stat for you per Next Gen Stats on ESPN. Jared Goff time to throw with Parsons off the field, 3.36 seconds. Jared Goff time to throw with Parsons on the field, 2.8 seconds. The limited snaps he played, 29 snaps, he dominated everyone he lined up against. Whether it was Sewell or Decker or any of the 3 guys in the middle, Micah Parsons was the best player on the field yesterday. And that was what we kind of talked about the entire length of the offseason, is this Packers team lacked the blue-chip guys that you really fear with the game on the line in the fourth quarter. Now they've got arguably the scariest guy on defense across the NFL. I can't wait to just see what the flat-out time to throw was, in general compared to the rest of the league, because we still don't have the PFF numbers to back that up. But it was concerning to say the least with how bad the interior of the offensive line was. And that doesn't even get into how bad the defensive line was in terms of doing the exact thing that the Packers did so well, pressuring Jordan Love. There was nothing there from the Lions.
Yeah, it's the spot in the game where this is where it's something new for the Lions as far as the offensive line really being as just wide open as it was, how easily the Packers were getting pressure from the interior as well as from the outside. And obviously that plays when you're putting Micah Parsons in several different spots. And it goes without saying, we've already mentioned it several times, but like a really big shout to Micah Parsons for being limited in his role and still making such a huge impact on this game. I mean, you talk about not having any blue chip players. He's the bluest chip player. I mean, he is the guy.
He's a black chip.
Right. I mean, like, it is way different that this Packers team now has Micah Parsons. The aggressiveness to go get him and then the impact that he makes so early. You could argue this is going to be the least impact he has on a game all season.
Yeah.
And he controlled this game defensively. So, yeah, it's very concerning from the Lions side of things. I still think that, like, if we do want to, because I know we've been all full negative here. I thought that the offense at least, what?
I'm just very curious to see what you're going to say positive about this team right now. I got nothing.
The one thing that, and this turns, it's a positive that honestly is a negative at the end of the day, is after the Packers kind of scored early and they're up 7-3 and then they score again, the Lions moved the ball well in the second quarter. 2 times they controlled the time of possession for the entire second quarter, and that's what they have done. Remember how good they were in the second quarter last year?
Yeah.
Like, tremendously good. So
then
it's like,
Jared
okay,
Goff threw a pick.
Now they're back. And then, well, yeah, they go for it, don't get it, and then Jared Goff throws a pick. And it's like, okay, they controlled the time of possession in the second quarter, actually moved the ball well. I don't think they ran the ball super effectively, but at least they got down the field. And it was like, okay, now they're getting out of this funk, it seems like. And it results in 0 points. And that was, so it's a positive turned into a negative. So that's why even at halftime I was like, oh, I don't feel good, 17-3, but at least coming out we get the ball. They clearly moved the football well before half, so you come out, score a touchdown, this is a brand new ball game. And then it just completely flips on its head to open up the second half as well. And so, yeah, that's where I'll say, like, the one positive thing was at least they showed some of that. But, yeah, it's all about establishing the run. You and I talked about all week how we thought David Montgomery was going to be kind of the sleeper of the game yesterday because everyone was talking about Gibbs, and we knew St. Brown was probably going to be good because of the kind of holes down the field as far as the Packers secondary.
Nope, nobody.
Montgomery just couldn't. I mean, he didn't really have the game script for him wasn't there. You know, you're losing early for Detroit, and you can't run the football.
He still got more attempts than Gibbs did.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't much attempts at all, and Gibbs obviously gets crazy more touches because of the amount of checkdowns, which is not very typical. And I do like, as much as we're kind of blaming this on the O-line and Morton or whatever, I think that Goff does deserve some blame. He seemed very uncomfortable in the pocket.
Do you blame him? There was guys
even
in
before,
the pocket
I don't
every
know.
single play.
I don't know. I think that Goff, even last season, he still, when there is a little bit of pressure, stood tall and was able to kind of wait till the last second to make a play. And it seemed like even before the pressure had truly gotten to him, he was already in shambles and looking to get rid of the football into a spot that there was going to be nothing there. So all around, a lot of concern. A lot of things to clean up before next week against Chicago.
That play he had where he tried to escape the pocket and throw it to Sam Laporta early on, who was running to the left sideline, that was just bad. He had way more time to set
That's
up
what I'm saying.
a good throw.
It was plays like that. It seemed like he thought he was under pressure earlier than he actually was, which sometimes he was under pressure right away. I'm not discounting that, but I just think all in all, he was uncomfortable even on the plays where he didn't need to be.
Yeah, there's not a lot of positives to take away from this game. All the hype with Teron Arnold coming into the season with how great of a camp he had. He wasn't very good. DJ Reed, the new free agent acquisition, playing corner. He wasn't very good. Aiden Hutchinson, for all the buzz that he got during camp. Oh, they had to come up with a Hutch rule because he was so dominant. He wasn't very good either. He got his hands on Jordan Love one time throughout the course of the game. Neither of the coaches were very good. The head coach wasn't very good. Isaac Tesla gets a game ball for having one of the best catches I've seen in Ford Field. And Sam Laporta was pretty consistent too. Other than that, really bad game from pretty much everyone across the board. I'll be curious to see how some of these guys rank out for the advanced numbers. We should be getting those pretty shortly, but there's just not a lot of positive takeaways. Like if If someone else has them, I'd love to hear what they are.
Yeah, Gary just said about the Tesla catch in the YouTube chat as well, like the lone positive of the game. Yeah, I mean, shout out Tesla. That catch was unreal. I'm happy that they turned it around. But I think the weird part is, when you trade away Tim Patrick, you think, okay, Tesla is probably going to get most of the wide receiver 3 looks.
Yep.
3 offensive snaps for Tesla.
And one of them was that catch.
Exactly. One of them was late in the game.
Why is he not playing more?
Khalif Raymond, 44 offensive snaps. So I thought it'd be maybe they throw out different looks. Maybe it's an even split. No, Khalif Raymond was out there just as much as Jahmyr Gibbs was. So
oh my, when you put it that
that'll
way,
go up. It'll go up. I mean, it's not something that's going to stay consistent, but
it's just so weird that you move off
you bought
the 3
into,
first
yeah,
round
you fully
picks.
bought into Tesla. Yeah,
you move 3 first round pick or 3 third round picks to take him in the 3rd round. And then you trade away your wide receiver 3, and it's like, all right, let's get this guy the ball. You had like such a dominant preseason, then you barely use him. And the one time you do use him, he makes the play of the day for either team. Congratulations to anyone who had an Isaac Tesla anytime touchdown bet. Oh wait,
that was you.
That was me. It's the lone bet I won this weekend. It was a brutal
that's what
weekend in general.
Man, that's what I was saying. We spend all this time, and by we, I really mean me, getting all excited about football. Like, I couldn't wait for the feeling of actually sitting down and watching NFL football. And then by the end of the day, Sunday, you're just depressed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just depressed, and I'm like, dude, why was I getting so excited for everything? All my fantasy teams suck. The Lions got killed. Didn't hit any bets. Like, just a tragic day of betting. Like, just all in all, a terrible Sunday when it's supposed to be, like, maybe the best day of the year.
I had to go out on a walk after the Lions game. Just start walking around town. I just needed to cool off. I couldn't, like, again, does someone else have any other positive takeaways besides Isaac Tesla? Even Jake Bates went 2 for 2 on the field goals, kicked those 2 things through the back of the end zone, which put the Packers on the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
And then the 2 returners, and Stewart and Sailors are like, these 2 guys suck at returning kicks. They just suck at returning kicks.
I did I had a long drive home, so I was listening to the second half on the radio. And after the game, about that hour between Sunday Night Football starting, just at least for half an hour of it, nothing. No music, no podcast.
The silent ride home.
Silent drive on the freeway. Just that's the type of stuff I was on, man. It was bad.
It takes a different sort of down bad for
the silent drive, yes.
For the silent drive. You really got to be deep in your own thoughts for that one.
I was. And then I started thinking about weird, and then I had to put on music after a while because I was like, okay, this is like.
What are you thinking about?
Well, just, you start thinking about anything,
I'm afraid to ask you a follow-up question.
No, I don't even remember. It's just like it was non-football stuff. You just start going down a rabbit hole of thoughts, and you're like, you know what? Let me get some music on before Sunday Night Football starts. At least that game cheered me up.
Yeah, that might be the best primetime game since the Chiefs Rams, the one that ended in 52-54.
Yeah,
I legitimately think that might be the best primetime game I've seen. Since
that was awesome.
Adam Prime says, "Here's a positive. I knew I still had a good game to watch at 8:20."
Yeah, exactly, and it was.
Game of the year.
It was an awesome game. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that always happens. Week 1, there's like one crazy primetime game. It's like, wow, game of the year, week 1. That legitimately is going to be the game of the year.
Yeah, I think we will look back at that game for a long time. I agree.
Between Derrick Henry, like just being an ageless wonder, 31 years old, still just the best running back in the league. Best running back I think I've ever seen. We were talking about that pre-show. McCaffrey, the value of being able to line him up in the slot and the mismatch he can cause on linebackers is something that's very unique when he was in his prime. But man, the longevity of Henry, it's like, this is the best guy I've ever seen in my football watching career. But yeah, that was an incredible game between the Keon Coleman touchdown and the DeAndre Hopkins one-handed grab. And they were down 15 with 3 minutes to go and somehow pulled that game out. Incredible stuff.
Thought it was
from the
for sure
Buffalo
over.
Bills.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. 989-837-6125. Need some of your thoughts on this Detroit Lions team. Where's your panic meter at, I guess, is the question of the day, because mine's at like a 6, and that almost feels a little low because, well, if they want to turn things around, this offensive line is going to have to improve in pretty dramatic ways. 989-837-6125. If you like the show and you're new on the YouTube channel, hit that like and subscribe button for us. Goes a long way. We'll be right back here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know, according to a recent study conducted by the AOA, the Optical Laboratories Association, and the Vision Council, nearly half of all glasses ordered online had either prescription errors or failed to meet minimum safety standards. Midland Eye Care offers a full-service optical department meeting all your eye care needs. So call your local Midland Eye Care and avoid incorrect prescriptions costing you time and money. Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and on East Washington and Freeland.
Broken appliance? Don't panic. Call Mr. Appliance. With a 4.9-star Google rating, our expert service professionals deliver speedy service with a 1-year done-right promise, so you can count on long-lasting repairs. We treat your home or business with care, no mess, and no trace left behind. Ask about our appliance wellness program to keep things running smoothly year-round. Visit us online at MrAppliance.com for easy online scheduling and local contact information. Mr. Appliance, speedy, trusted, guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Got house projects you push till the fall? Get the right tools. Select Milwaukee Power Tools. Buy one, get one free, including the brushless drill and impact driver kit. Keep that deck looking brand spanking new. Save $5 instantly on Thompson's Water Seal Wood Sealer and $10 on a gallon of cabin exterior stain. And download the Ace app and get a $10 instant bonus.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Vol Loon Tier program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Vol Loon Tier isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Every Wednesday on 100.9 The Mitt on the Ben Bosscher Show, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
For the next 3 weeks, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we are going to be sending someone to the Michigan State Spartans games for their matchups against Western Michigan, Boston College, and Youngstown State. All you have to do is be listening to the show at 10:15 and listen for that keyword to text in. Big Win Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said. Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Bullied. That's what happened to the Detroit Lions yesterday. Not really a nicer way to put it. As much as I'd love to sit here and say, well, at least this didn't happen, at least this did happen, and point out some positives. There just frankly wasn't very many positives, and one of the things that certainly doesn't qualify for that was the coaching. So of Dan Campbell, Dave Phipp, Calvin Shepard, and Johnny Morton, let's give all these guys a coaching grade real quick. Dan Campbell, I don't know how you can give him anything beyond like a C. Typically, I love this guy. Gets him ready to go for the games. But when you're an overseer, like a head coach who's just kind of a overseer of everything, CEO type, not really, I think he has a little bit more to say with the offense than people necessarily realize. But like when you get bullied like that so bad up front and on both sides of the ball and look completely unprepared and the penalties end up being a thing, like a C almost seems generous. And then you throw in the fact that he had some clock management issues as well to end the half. I know you disagree with that a little bit, but I don't know. I would have certainly called
at the end of the day,
timeout.
it truly doesn't matter. That's the part that I think goes towards the low grade.
But I would have called a timeout there on 3rd and 2 with 40 seconds left. You get the stop. You at least have like some fighting chance to get a punt and have 2 timeouts, 30 seconds. We've seen the Lions do that 1,000 times and maybe at least get 3 points before the half. You don't even give yourself a chance to do it. You let them drain 30 seconds off the clock, and then you use your timeout then. It's way too late by then. So you don't even end up getting to go on a little drive before the half. So between all that, I don't know, man, like D+, C- for me for Dan Campbell. That's where I'd put the head coaching grade at.
Yeah, I don't think how it can be any higher than like a C. I'll give it a C- as well. I think that's pretty fair just because what are the good things you can point towards? There really is nothing that and like you said, he oversees all those different departments, and all of them were bad. So there really isn't anything to give a positive grade for. I'll go with a C-.
Let's hold off on the coordinators. I'll go Dave Phipp next. I don't know how you can give him anything but an F.
Yeah, it's got to be an F. Jake Bates made 2 field goals. Is he in charge of that? I guess a little bit, but
between the penalty on the punt cost them 30 yards. They lined up offsides.
Oh man!
Jack Fox has this like incredible boom of a punt. They have to redo it, and it costs them 30 net yards because of it. Just terrible stuff there. They were 0 on trying to get the ball past the 25-yard line. Yet, if you just wave your hand, you get to the 35.
I was going to say, it felt like every team now just starts with the ball at the 40-yard line nowadays.
It's because that's exactly what's happening.
It's weird. I don't know if I love it.
The Packers certainly did it.
Yeah.
Because Jake Bates was just booting it too far. And then they'd take it in the end zone. Grant Stewart and Jacob Sailors, it blows my mind that those are the return guys. Why not put Vaki or Tesla or somebody, like throw someone.
Even Khalif, he's good at punt return. Why not put him at kick return?
Craig Reynolds, like somebody other than the practice squad guy you pulled up in a linebacker for returning kicks. Just bad stuff all around from special teams. So I'm going F there.
Yeah, it's got to be an F. There was not one single ounce of positive there.
Let's go offense next. John Moran, look, I have a hard time saying that this is all his fault, but he certainly didn't seem like he was helping the problem whatsoever. If you knew there was going to be all these instant pressures, you got to get Goff out from under center. You got to get Amon-Ra some really quick stuff. Amon-Ra only had 4 catches throughout the entire day. Didn't really feel like he had a great game. I'm not talking about Amon-Ra. I'm talking about John Morton. I'll go with like a C+ here because I think at the end of the day, when the offensive line from the interior is that bad, I don't really know what he's supposed to do about that. It's not like he deserves less of the blame than the offensive line.
Sure,
again, all I'm saying.
I do agree with you in the fact that I don't think he was as bad as everyone else. Because what was he supposed to do?
It wasn't Chip Lindsey.
But once again, what is positively going towards him here? A C+? I mean, he's got to be a C or C-.
Okay, fine. I'll go C.
I guess that's not that much of a difference. But yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, he is in charge of how the offense operates, and whether or not the personnel up front was good or not, he is in charge of that. And the scheme, I think it's more the fact that he was clearly out-coached by Hafley defensively of Green Bay.
Yeah.
So that's where I think he gets a bad grade.
Calvin Shepard, I'm going D. Dropping Aiden Hutchinson back into coverage multiple times, dropping Marcus Davenport, who's 6'6", 285 back into coverage. What the hell is he going to do? He's not picking off anybody. That felt like they were trying to get way too cute. Matt LaFleur recognized the press coverage right away and toasted Tara and Arnold. Felt like those guys were getting picked on. Just couldn't figure out a way to generate any pressure on Jordan Love whatsoever. So I'm giving Calvin Shepard in his debut a D here.
I think he's as close to an F as it can go. There was not a lot of – we're talking about how – continuously, it's funny how this is for every group now. There's not a lot of positives. Defensively, I don't know if there's any you can point towards because I still think the secondary wasn't that bad. because Love just had all day to throw. You're going to find guys that are open at some point when you have 5 seconds to throw the football.
Yeah, I saw people picking on Terry
So did
Arnold
I.
and DJ Reed online. And look, like I'm not saying
They
they had
weren't
great
good.
games.
Yeah,
they weren't.
exactly.
They weren't. But it's hard to say that they were getting bullied and picked on the way that just the offensive line and defensive line were. If Love has that much time to throw, I don't care if it's Sauce Gardner or Pat Surtain or prime Jalen Ramsey out there. Like, guys are going to get open.
Right, and I don't care who the receivers are. We've talked about this Green Bay wide receivers room that is underwhelming.
And I didn't think anyone like particularly stood out as like, oh, this guy's going to be a problem. No. It was more scheme-based. Like the Jaden Reed touchdown where he slipped out and Terry Arnold couldn't keep up with him because he got picked off. That was just really good scheming from Matt LaFleur.
I think that's the part that is more concerning about when we're giving these grades out to our coordinators is, of course, no one has gotten more heat all offseason than John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. Probably particularly Morton because he's replacing Ben Johnson.
It wasn't even heat this offseason. It was just like...
Just pressure. That's what I'm saying. And the fact that this is how week 1 goes, those guys are going to get put through the ringer this week as far as talking about the Lions, like guys like you and I. And I don't necessarily know... like I said, I think that it's more of a Shepard thing than it is a Morton thing. Just because of their scheme and the fact that both of them got out-coached so heavily by a good Green Bay coaching staff at the end of the day.
Really strong.
But it's just still very concerning.
Okay, let me ask you this then. How much blame does Brad Holmes deserve here? For not bringing back Zadarius Smith, which certainly would have helped out Hutchinson and the defensive line get to Jordan Love a little bit faster, or at all for that matter. And look, the Ragnow injury, the Ragnow retirement, the timing of it, it's a really dumb thing to be mad about. But him waiting until June 2nd to retire screwed over Brad Holmes'
fault?
No. That's not what I'm saying. This is where I'm like kind of coming in to defend Brad Holmes a little bit, to where it's like, what the hell was he supposed to do? Because if he would have just retired in like January, Ryan Kelly would be a Lion right now. Like, without a doubt in my mind, they would have signed Ryan Kelly. The thing that I do get a little bit upset with Brad Holmes for is acting like it's ridiculous for us to ask him questions about an edge rusher. Anytime someone brings it up, I don't know why you guys keep asking me about that. We have Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe because they couldn't get to the quarterback at all yesterday, and that would have been a little bit of a boost to have Zadarius Smith there. And the other thing is, I can't believe they let Kevin Zeitler walk. He was so damn good last season. Clearly a better, a pass blocker and run blocker than Graham Glasgow last season. And they could have cut Glasgow and done the exact same thing, save $11 million over 2 years with Zadarius Smith. Then they could have used that money to just sign Zeitler back. I think having Zeitler would have gone a long way yesterday, because at least that's one veteran in there that's totally proven and not showing signs of like total regression the way that Graham Glasgow did at the end of last season when he was the worst offensive lineman of all time in that playoff game against the Commanders.
Yeah, I think that's the part that you're most concerned about is the Brad Holmes letting Zeitler go. That would be the guy that would be most important in this year. But you can't give him a ton of blame for this game. This is on the coaching staff. All of them got out-coached by Green Bay, and that's clearly something that needs to get fixed against a Bears staff that has been a staff that you've walked circles around the last couple seasons, and now it's new this season next week, and you got to be able to out-coach them.
It's a week 2 must-win game. No, it is. As much as it's kind of like a bit that we do that, it's must-win. Like, they lose this game to the Bears, you're staring down the barrel of 0-3.
Really bad, yeah.
Staring down the barrel of 0-3 with Kansas City and Cincinnati and Tampa Bay all on the schedule here in the first half of the season. So kind of have to win this game against the Bears next week. 989-837-6125. We'll get to a couple Mitt messages when we come back, take a trip around the league. It's the Ben Bosscher Show of 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh? Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the Old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a two-hearted ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, let's get to a couple Mitt messages. I think everyone's still kind of reacting from this Lions game. It's funny, though, because it felt like last year and the year prior, the 2 years I've been here at the station, there was a lot of anger when they lost, like a lot of overreaction. Feels like everyone is rationally like thinking about this, right? It doesn't feel like anyone's like, oh, shoot, it's over. It feels like people are leaning on the positive side of this. And I don't think there's a lot of anger. It's more of a, oh, like we might have to readjust our expectations for this team. And the one kind of problem we think could have been for this Lions team coming into the year, the interior of the offensive line actually might be a much bigger problem than we necessarily realized. It feels like everyone's attacking this a little bit more rationally than the past couple of years.
Well, yeah,
I don't know why.
I know why. It's because they've been a really good team last couple of years. You know, it's previously you just think about how things have always been for the Lions when you have a loss like this early in the season, and you go down that dark, depressing hole of the history of the franchise and stuff. It's been a really good team last couple of years, so I think that people are still kind of feeling that same way about the team, which they definitely should be. And I like that that's the approach, but at the end of the day, I also think you can't take the approach of it's week one, they're fine, they'll figure it out.
No, there's definitely like reasons to feel insecure about this team.
There's clear concern, yes.
Adam texting in saying, any way we can blame this Lions loss on Scott Harris, that would make me feel better.
That's good stuff, man. Hey, maybe if they would have beat the White Sox, then they could have won. I don't know. It's a good bit. I like that.
I don't know if I can figure out a way. I'm really trying here to figure out a way to blame this on Scott Harris. I don't think I can.
If Kevin McGonigal was called up and then.
Looking at the YouTube chat, someone said radio's dead, make a podcast. Well, good news. This is a podcast, and you can listen to it right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Search Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, this is a podcast, bro.
It's live on YouTube. You can listen to it or watch it back anywhere that you get your podcast. So thanks for letting everybody know about that, Mr. Hamburger Harvey in our YouTube
Good
chat.
Stuff.
Shout out to everyone on the YouTube. A lot of new people, it looks like, in there today. If you like the show, hit the subscribe button. We'd appreciate it a lot here at 100.9 The Mitt. All right, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, you already know the direction this is
You
going.
already know.
Week 1 after the NFL season. What's around the league going to be, Kyle?
We got to talk about all the games, right?
Overreactions.
Overreactions. We're overreacting right now. Could the Lions be the worst team in the league?
No. Miami has that under firm control right now.
ESPN throwing out a biggest overreactions for NFL Week 1 games. I'm going to throw them at you, Ben. You got to let me know. Overreaction, or is it maybe a possibility?
Okay, overreaction, proper reaction, underreaction.
Whatever you want to
it.
call it. Okay, boom. First up, it's your team and your boy. The Kansas City Chiefs won't win the AFC West this season. Ooh, the only team that did not get a win in that division this week. They're in last place of that division right now.
Thank you.
I'd love to find out the last time they were in last place of that division.
I think this is an overreaction. I don't think the Broncos looked all that impressive either yesterday, despite them covering against that Titans team. They kind of struggled against that Titans team for the most part. I didn't think Bo Nix looked all that great.
They turned the ball over 4 times, still won by 8. I mean, Cam Ward was begging them to win by 30.
That wasn't what happened, though. I think this is an overreaction because you should be getting Worthy back. You're going to get Rice back at some point. It's just a matter of you can't let everything collapse before then. And
what's the word on Worthy, by the way? We haven't really gotten any long-term news on that yet,
Miss some time.
Right.
You see who they play next, though?
I just love Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to turn this thing around rather quickly. Look, I think this team's going to be fine. If there's been one consistency in the NFL over the past decade, I guess a little less than a decade, it's that
the
Mahomes.
Chiefs winning the division.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to figure this thing out. I don't think you can overreact to that after 1 week. So I will say that is an overreaction. I'm not jumping off the Chiefs wagon after one bump.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think, though, that they're definitely not a top 2 team in the AFC. Which I think most people kind of felt that way coming into the year anyways, so that's not like an overreaction.
Yes, their defense is going to have to carry them once again.
All right, let's go to the team that you were just talking about, potentially the worst team in the league. The Miami Dolphins will be picking first in the 2026 draft, ... and drafting a quarterback.
I think
we're blaming that whole game on Tua. I mean, they let Daniel Jones dice him up, bro. We can't give it all on Tua here.
But Tua gets a real big slice of the
really
blame
bad,
pie.
for sure.
He looked
3
like
turnovers.
He looked worse than Rattler. He looked worse than Russell Wilson. He looked like the worst quarterback in the league yesterday. Because it's not just the fact that he was throwing turnovers or fumbling the ball. They were ugly turnovers.
Worse than Russell Wilson. That might be an overreaction.
I don't know, man. Tua was a
John
disaster yesterday.
Yeah, he was.
I don't think this is a huge overreaction. I do think there's basically no chance they're not picking a quarterback in this year's draft. To jump out and say they're going to have that first pick, that feels like maybe an overreaction because the Saints are still just an absolute dumpster fire of a team. So overreaction in terms of like guaranteeing the fact that they take in terms of guaranteeing that they're the first overall pick. Not an overreaction that they're going to be looking to move off of Tua Tagovailoa at some point this next offseason. Honestly, wouldn't be all that shocked if Zach Wilson got some run at some point this year for Miami. Or resurgence.
I think that this is totally not an overreaction. I think this is absolutely the case. When you look at this game, this was the game that the Miami Dolphins were easily going to win. The Colts haven't won in Week 1 since 2013, Ben. And Daniel Jones was their quarterback. Like, how do you not win this game? And not only did you not win, you just got totally embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the easiest proper reaction of all time. The Dolphins are cooked.
Tyreek Hill freaking out on the sideline every time that they cut to the Dolphins. Like, that was just like minus 200 odds that was going to happen, right? That was just in the parlay. Tyreek Hill freaking out on the sideline when they cut to them on red zone. That leg hits in the parlay. Tua got to be a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL, right?
We'll see. Yeah,
For starters.
Probably. I mean, I think there's a world where he gets out of that group with other guys underperforming.
Yeah, but these weapons are like, they're just not the same guys as they used to be. It's a gimmicky offense that it feels like the rest of the league is figured out.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, let's move on to another really bad starting quarterback. Russell Wilson will be replaced by Jackson Dart as the New York Giants starting quarterback by the end of September.
Okay, I was curious about this, so I looked up their schedule. They've got the Cowboys next, then they've got the Chiefs, then they've got the Chargers. Those are their
schedule's so tough.
Those are their 3 games the rest of September. So I think this is the proper reaction, but I don't know about the technicality here. I think Jackson Dart ends up starting against the Saints, but that's the first week of October. So maybe they announce him as the well, they could announce him as the starter right after that Chargers game. So like by technicality, I don't know. Like
yeah, because that's the thing. Like, how much is it going to help Jackson Dart to go out there and play against the Chiefs?
It's not. It's not.
As much as Giants fans probably would rather see him rather than Russell Wilson, even Brian Dable, after the press game, didn't really, or in his press conference after the game, would not name a starter for next week when asked about it.
No, I thought he committed to Wilson.
He committed to no one.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want to hear some Wilson numbers?
Sure.
Pressured on 16 of his 45 dropbacks. That's 36%. Handled that pressure by going 2 for 12. 26 yards, and was sacked twice.
And Malik Neighbors already having week 1 wide receiver frustration on the sideline, too.
That's good stuff.
Man, remember that happened like super early in the year last year? It's like this guy's a rookie and already is he gets this wide receiver drama tag on him already.
You know, as much as you can chalk it up to, hey, Giants offensive line, terrible, not Wilson's fault, he doesn't even look over in the middle of the field, and he holds onto the ball for too long. Like, a lot of the sacks, even going back to his Seattle days and in Denver, and now you're seeing in New York, a lot of the sacks he takes and the pressures are his fault.
Yeah.
Because he just stands there and waits to throw a bomb down the sideline and then prays for a pass interference call. Because if there's one thing he does well, it's throw those moon balls down the field. He just can't really do anything else anymore.
Exactly.
So I don't think this is an overreaction that Jackson Dart ends up taking the job by October.
All right, we've had a few bad teams in a row. Let's go to a team that played really good and maybe has some different expectations for this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers
overreaction
finally have an offense that can help them advance past the wild card round.
Overreaction. What are we talking about? Look at the rest of the AFC.
They put up 34 on a good defense.
Yeah, but they're not a good defense.
What, you don't think the Jets are a good defense?
No.
They're not even good. I didn't say elite,
fine.
I didn't say great.
They're fine.
Fine
they
and
finished
good
middle
are
of
pretty
the pack
similar
last
words.
season. No, they finished middle of the pack last year for the total yards and points. This is a fine defense. You know what was even more concerning? The Steelers' defense just getting tormented by Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson for 4 quarters. No, this is not a playoff team.
Wow, you're even taking it a step further. This doesn't even say they'll make the playoffs. This says they will win a game in the playoffs.
They won't have 8 wins this. They're not going to be a playoff team. They're not going to be a playoff team. Mark my words.
Okay, marking that. The Green Bay Packers will be NFC champions. Not even NFC North. They're just saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl after week 1. What do we think? Oh, come on. This is an overreaction.
It's an overreaction. I still think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC.
Now, if this would have said the Green Bay Packers will win the NFC North, I think it would have been a proper reaction.
Yeah.
I think that's fair after week 1. Yeah.
You literally can't come up with an argument as to why it wouldn't be the proper reaction.
It would be just a bad biased Lions take to say that that's an overreaction at the end of the day.
What do you think odds are for them to win the division?
Well, they were plus 170, I think, before week 1, so they've got to be plus.
And then you grab a head-to-head win.
Plus 105, probably right near even odds would be my guess, with the Lions in the plus 250 range.
Minus 120. Get this, Minnesota, the second favorites to win the NFC North.
A game, man.
Plus 4. Hey, plus 410 for the Lions. All right, I got to exit out of this. Nope. Not looking
I can't
at that.
double down. I have
it.
plenty of those types of futures already in play. So, okay, a couple more, and then we'll move on here. Oh, wait, no, actually, that's the last one.
Oh, all right.
I thought there was another one. Do you have any other overreactions that you like from week 1? Just off the top of your head? I was really hoping there'd be something from that Rams-Texans game. Kind of a boring game, you know?
Oh, how about this? The C.J. Stroud and the Texans offense, not very good. Overreaction or not?
Overreaction.
Yeah.
I think that was a weird game in general because the Rams offense wasn't very good either.
Well, I think the Texans defense is about as legit as it gets. And you know who was nasty in that game? Was Jared Verse. Look out for Jared Verse, man.
Your boy. Ooh, here we go. One off the top of my head, then we'll end it here. Travis Hunter will only play offense by week 5.
No, he played. No.
Okay.
I thought they tried to get him the ball a little too much, though. Like,
second overall pick, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I know. But like some of the screenplays that they were drawing up from the bubble screens were just very predictable, getting blown up on the line of scrimmage. That's all. 989-837-6125. We'll hit more stock market exchange when we come back. If you like the show, hit the subscribe button. We are live on YouTube every day at 9 o'clock, reacting to Lions wins, Tigers wins. Michigan and Michigan State will be the focus of tomorrow's show. If you're interested, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. If you're watching on YouTube, get notified right when we go live at 9 o'clock. Again, live every day on 100.9 The Mitt, the Ben Bosscher Show from 9 to noon. This is that show precisely here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt's Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Terry Johnson, President and CEO of Greater Midland.
What faced the most challenges for you? Like, is there a certain role that you were like, public, I know you said public affairs, but there was a certain time period or maybe even a certain event where you're like, okay, this is a challenge I can now take with me throughout my entire career. Any advice that you have for like young professionals that you learned maybe from like a certain lesson?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One, for a period of my Dow career, I managed crisis communications. So nothing's more challenging or a better learning opportunity is when you're kind of feet in the fire, when there's things going on.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Are you new to investing and not sure where to begin? Start by looking for a financial advisor who will offer you a strategy personalized for you and your family. One who will be there as your life and financial situation changes. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We use an established process to create personalized financial strategies backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hey, sports fans, heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeman, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, before we jump into our stock market exchange, part 2, let's go over a couple of Mitt messages here. Again, it's 989-837-6125. Appreciate everyone who's new to the show, watching on our YouTube or Facebook or in your car in 100.9 The Mitt. We're live every Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. So appreciate anyone who is texting in. The newest sports media station right here in Michigan. All right. Brent says, do you think the line play and the wrinkles could have been caught if the starters play during the preseason? No, I don't. Maybe slightly improved, but Micah Parsons was still going to screw up those three guys in the middle, regardless of if they played in the preseason or not. Screw them up. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and Parsons also. I mean, it wasn't just Parsons even. It was the Packers' entire defense. Van Ness was everywhere as well. So
no, you guys are right. I think it would have been smart to play Glasgow and Ratledge and Mahogany all together in the preseason. I don't think playing Decker or Penei Sewell would have been worth it. But to have the three guys play in the middle,
agreed.
Yeah, it probably in hindsight would have helped. I don't know how much it would have made a difference though, if that makes sense. This one's from Jason in Saginaw. Not too worried yet, but if the Bears and Ben Johnson come out tonight looking solid, yeah, I'm going to be a little worried. Again, tomorrow's a must-win game to me. Or not tomorrow, next week.
I think that's a good point. Obviously already had a ton of interest in tonight's game just in general because Ben Johnson, Bears, Vikings, no matter what. But especially with the Lions' loss, I'm almost more intrigued by how the Bears are going to look. I'm very, very interested for that.
Last one. Not asking this based on yesterday's game, but maybe a little bit. Do you guys think the Lions need to start looking to draft another quarterback?
Ooh.
I'm not
We're
there
not
yet.
there.
I'm
We're not
not there yet,
right?
man.
Come on.
Sorry, Noah. I'm not there quite yet.
Little early. It's still 70-degree out weather here. Maybe a bit early on that one.
I think they just need to fix their offensive line. But unfortunately, that's basically impossible to do in the middle of the season. That doesn't really happen in the middle of the season. You kind of just have your offensive line, and it can really only get worse from there. So 989-837-6125. Let's do a couple more stock market exchange bits real quick here, Kyle.
You know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
The stock market.
The show goes on.
Okay, what else you selling? What else you buying? So far, I think I sold all my Steelers and Aaron Rodgers stock from this weekend. And that, I think, was all I did.
I'll give you a non-sports one here. It's been a sports primary show today. I'm going to buy...
it's a sports show.
Oh. I'm going to buy my stock on the city of Pittsburgh as a whole. I was there this weekend, and I'd been there one time in my life, 2021, I think. But it was in the middle of winter. I was there basically just for the night, went to Steelers-Lions, and then left immediately. This time I actually had time to walk around. It was still nice weather. Spent a lot of the time there at night. Went to the Pirates game. Awesome city, dude. Legitimately, one of the coolest cities I've been to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Just the bridges are awesome. The scenery, the mountains up there. Like, it is just a very, very cool downtown scene in Pittsburgh.
There's mountains?
Well, there's Mount Washington that's like,
oh.
Yeah, it's like a ginormous hill basically up on the other side of the bridges. Just really cool. Like, I had a really good time there. A lot of fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you one. Anyone who ever uttered a prediction of Derrick Henry's regression this offseason.
Ooh.
If you had ever were like, yeah, but I'm not going to draft him, like this is probably the year, like he's 31, I'm selling stock on you. You don't know ball. Derrick Henry's never going to regress, ever. I think he's just going to be good forever. He's going to be in our lives in 2040, just still running the rock.
Yeah, that's good. I felt really good about my season-long Derrick Henry touchdown leader bet after last night, by the way he looked, which he torched the Bills last year as well, but it was a nice reminder that, yes, he's still one of the best in the league. That's good.
He's a monster.
I'll sell my stock on Major League Baseball on the opening weekend of NFL.
I didn't watch
I
a single
forgot
pitch
the
of
Tigers were playing this week, man.
Yep.
You know, I legitimately, so like I was keeping up with the score on Friday and Saturday. Yesterday, legit, got back late at night and I was like, oh my God, what was the Tigers score? Like, did they even win? I had no idea what had happened in the game. And just Major League Baseball in general, you just kind of forgot that baseball was going on. So I don't, that's selling my stock on that's kind of weird, but just kind of wanted to bring that up.
Oh,
like a
sure.
reminder, you know, the Tigers played this weekend, if you didn't know.
They lost 2 games. I'm selling my stock on Puka Nacua. It's already happening. You went to
Man, this guy hates Puka Nacua.
I don't hate Puka Nacua.
Yeah, you
I
do.
hate him as a fantasy asset if you have him in like a dynasty league or something like that. It took 1 game for him to end up in the medical tent.
No, dude, admit you hate Puka Nacua right now.
I don't hate Puka Nacua. I hate the idea and the way that he plays football. It terrifies me if I'm a Rams fan. It took him, what, a quarter and a half to end up in the medical tent being evaluated for a concussion? He plays like a psychopath. That's it. That's
Okay. Puka Nacua, man. Not a big fan of him. Okay, I'll sell my stock on...
I would hate it if Amon-Ra was like running into people the way that Puka Nacua does. Amon-Ra's good at not taking hits.
Yeah, he is.
Puka Nacua like seeks
They also
out
are
the
just
hits.
much different, like, sized humans.
Are
Puka
they?
Nacua is like a large, strong... Like, not saying that St. Brown's not strong, but, like... Nakua's just a bigger guy.
He's 1 inch taller.
Than St. Brown?
Yes.
Nakua? Okay.
212. How much do you think Amon-Ra is?
Nakua's 212 or St. Brown?
Nacua.
I don't know. What's St. Brown then? Probably like 200?
203. They're pretty
Okay.
similar. Like,
Okay.
Amon-Ra
That's closer
gets,
than I thought, actually.
Amon-Ra gets
I thought Puka was bigger.
pegged as
That's fair.
this little guy. He's not. He's
No.
strong as an ox for being
yeah, of
6'1", 203.
Okay, I'll sell my stock on one last NFL team. I'm going to continue to sell Broncos stock. You turn the ball over 4 times against a Tennessee team that has legitimately looked god-awful. Bo Nix didn't have the best game. I feel better about the Chargers in that division. I did prior to the season. I had the bet of Chargers to make playoffs, Broncos to miss. That felt really good after the Chargers beat the Chiefs. Broncos getting a win. I think it's a good time to sell the stock. I'm not here for all the giant Super Bowl leap Broncos season like everyone else is.
You're not there.
No.
All right. Hey, I think we might have just got some grades for the Lions game. Oh, no, not quite yet. Hopefully we have those before the show because I'm very curious to see who gave up the most pressures on this interior of the offensive line. It was a disgusting performance from everyone on that side of the ball. Want to get to some of our biggest concerns with this Detroit Lions team. If you haven't texted in yet, give us your thoughts, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Minute. You guys can explore the Great Lakes shipwrecks before it gets too cold with Dive and Glide. Sign up for open water dive courses at diveandglideinc.com. Learn the skills, learn the practice, and get certified. Whether you're a beginner or brushing up on your skills, they've got the classes to get you underwater with confidence. If you're already a pro, shop the best state-of-the-art gear online. I'm talking fins, regulators, masks, gauges, and more. Visit diveandglideinc.com and gear up for your next underwater adventure. That's diveandglideinc.com, Michigan's home for all things scuba, right here in Midland, Michigan. Ben Bosscher Show. We'll be right back for the 11 o'clock hour on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Isaiah, how did you get all wet?
I was playing in the rain.
Son, you're in the house. It's not raining inside. Or is it?
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
What?
Oh no, the roof has a leak.
Leak? That's a waterfall.
We need that fixed now.
Rexy's Silent Birdie Repair can fix it.
What, son?
Any job, anywhere. Bresky can do it all.
Call Bresky right now and get that roof fixed. And while you're at it, have him fix the gutters.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, let's jump right in. I need your guys' honest opinion about how worried you are about this Detroit Lions team. And I don't know if you can quite tell me, like, I'm not worried at all, because there was definitely some things to point to yesterday as to real concerns that should follow the Lions into next week, to say the very least, heading against this Chicago Bears team that's going to be in action tonight. But between the offensive line not being able to protect Jared Goff in any way, between the offensive line not being able to get the run game established for Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery, neither of them had any sort of explosive runs whatsoever after Gibbs was so elite at that all season long last year. Honestly, Montgomery too. Between those two things, with the interior guys, Penei Sewell kind of secretly having one of his worst games since his rookie season too. I don't even know if it was a secret. Parsons kind of just lit him up. Taylor Decker not very great either. Look, the only way I can put it is it felt like the Lions got bullied by the Packers defense. They came to play, they came to be aggressive, and they were the enforcers yesterday, whereas the Lions have been the enforcers against the Packers and everybody else in the NFL for a year and a half. Not the case yesterday whatsoever. Even with Aiden Hutchinson, they struggled to get to the quarterback. I'd be shocked if there was more than 5 pressures on Jordan Love. And I see some of the online stuff on Twitter regarding how many how many pressures they had. I'm just going to wait till the PFF grades come through. We keep refreshing, waiting for those to happen. But look, man, they just didn't win in the trenches on either side of the ball in any capacity, whether that was getting after the quarterback. They were all right at stopping the run with Josh Jacobs, but it still felt like he was running through our linebackers rather than into them. And then the interior of the offensive line, whether it was against the run or trying to protect Goff, just lost. So at best, you won one of the 4 departments when it came to controlling the line of scrimmage against the Green Bay Packers run. That's the only thing you did halfway decent yesterday. I don't have anything else positive to say about this team. And to be honest, that's not even really a compliment how they played against the run. It was so bad against the air that it didn't matter. Yeah. So if your name's not Isaac Tesla, I don't really have anything positive to say about you, unfortunately.
Did you see that the Gibbs 10 for 31 was the fewest receiving yards ever for a player that had 10 catches?
Ever?
In NFL history. That's crazy. Just the amount
crazy. He couldn't just break one for 15 yards.
Well, but it seems like every time he caught the ball, he was just had nowhere to go because it was just the last second option of, oh my God, Goff is under pressure. He's just got to get rid of it. There's Gibbs.
And it became predictable too.
Over and over.
4
again.
guys
yeah, exactly.
right where Gibbs was when he caught the ball.
Once again, Green Bay schemed for it. They're not going to leave Gibbs alone in the flats. Of course, that's just a nightmare for any defense to give him room to run. So, yeah, I mean, I was more and more thinking about this even as we've gone on with the show. Like, should we not have seen this coming? I know it's super easy to say that after you lose, of course, but I think the only reason why we felt so confident about the Lions in Week 1 was we were just blinded by, well, they've beaten the Packers 6 straight times, 5 straight times, whatever it was. That was like the number one reason why we were confident in Detroit. Whereas all the signs were pointing towards Green Bay just added Micah Parsons, who's going to play with one of the better defensive coordinators in the league as far as getting effort out of guys that maybe aren't the greatest at their position in the league. And then also add in the fact that we do have all this O-line stuff. It's the first game for John Morton as the OC. First game is Kelvin Shepard as the DC. It's going to take them time to adjust and get in their new spots. I just feel like the more and more I look at it, I'm like, and the Packers were favorites, and there was no juice that got added to the Lions. So people clearly weren't betting on Detroit. So
I think the reason you could have convinced yourself that the Lions were still going to win was no Rashawn Gary. You might be able to run all over this team, which I felt guilty of. Like, I fell into that trap too because I knew the offensive line and specifically the guys in the middle, it was going to be a step back without Frank Ragnow. What I didn't know was how much of a step back it would be. It was – I don't want to overreact and call it the worst offensive line performance of the weekend because, not like I sat there and watched all 32 offensive lines and evaluated them the same way that I did with the Lions. But, man, there's no way it was in the top half of the league.
Well, Gary played, right?
Rashawn Gary?
Yeah.
Yeah, he destroyed Taylor Decker.
You said no Rashawn Gary. That's why I was confused.
No, I'm sorry. No Kenny Clark is what I meant to say.
Okay, I was going to say, if they didn't have Rashawn Gary, then I would feel different. Yeah. No, you're right. And that was the weird part about the broadcast, too. Like, Romo was like, yeah, we talked to Dan Campbell, and he was basically, more excited that Kenny Clark was gone rather than worried that they got Micah Parsons.
Guess what, man? You couldn't run the ball even when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
What is your concern level with this Detroit Lions team? 989-837-6125. Texter coming in named Ken says, it's a 7 for me. That line is horrible. All of the 22 runs, the ball carrier was hit behind the line of scrimmage 16 times. Also, the schedule is brutal. It's from Ken. Are you buying into the schedule being a little bit more of a problem than we thought going into the year? Because I think you and I were both like, whatever, schedule. Like, they had a bad schedule last season. Didn't really matter to them. It's more so the timing of this Ravens game that's concerning to me. Because that was a scheduled loss at any point in the year for me, especially on the road. Now it's like, okay, it's week 3. You have to win next week. Doesn't it feel like best case scenario, this team's starting 1-2?
Oh, no. Not best case. I mean, best case scenario, they start 2-1.
You don't think they're beating the Ravens after last?
Best case scenario? Best case scenario, they win that game.
You think they're do you think they're?
You were not just about to say double-digit underdogs.
Well,
right?
I was, and then I stopped myself because I know that would have been ridiculous. What, 4
it
or
depends.
5 points?
I mean, it obviously depends on how the Chicago game goes, right? You lose against Chicago, then you're 6 or 7 point underdogs.
Right. On the road.
But if you beat Chicago handily and it looks like a lot of the stuff is cleaned up, then you're probably only 3 or 4 point underdogs. You're obviously going to be underdogs, but I don't know. To me, I'm still not worried about the schedule because, one, I'm more worried about the product that was on the field. If you're better than the teams that you are going up against, the schedule doesn't matter. And so what we saw from the Lions, clearly they are not better than a lot of the teams that we maybe expect to be on the schedule this season. So they just need to clean their stuff up. It doesn't matter who – I mean, it does matter who you're going up against because they probably still beat the Browns even the way they played yesterday. But –
And the Dolphins.
I also had – well, yeah, I'm just looking
and
at
the
the teams that are
Saints.
actually on their schedule. But I also had them splitting with Green Bay this year. So I can that can be the one. I didn't think it would be the game one, but I didn't specifically pick which game it would be. I just knew they were going to split with Green Bay and Minnesota. So to me, this technically doesn't affect anything. But the way they lost, obviously, you're still very, very concerned.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the loss itself
Right.
that was so concerning.
You
It
could have lost the
was-
way the Ravens did and been like, okay, we're still really good. You know, like we'll figure it out. Like we still feel fine about the rest of the season.
Yeah, that would have been more of a gut punch.
Yeah, it would have hurt, but like
yesterday's loss didn't really hurt the same way some of the other losses of the past couple of years have. It wasn't like a gut punch.
True.
It wasn't like you got the
we
rug
could have had
swept
this
out.
one. Yeah, like even the Bucs lost last year.
It was just like a first quarter 1-2, not quite a knockout punch in the first quarter, but it was like they got you leaning against the ropes in the first quarter and you never really got off of them. Like you never really threatened to get yourself back into this game. Maybe with that Brian Branch pick six that didn't end up actually being an interception at all because of the penalty. But that's the only time you felt like, oh, they're kind of back in it. No, Green Bay controlled the game from the get-go and never lost control of it for 1 second. That's the disappointing part, and it's all because of the offense and defensive lines. I don't really have anything positive to say about this team performance yesterday, which is the sad part. Because usually after a loss, you can say, at least you did this well. At least this happens. If there's going to be one thing I'm going to say, it's Isaac Tesla. Fantastic catch in the run defense was fine. It wasn't great, but it was fine. But the rest of it was so bad that I almost feel like they don't even deserve the credit.
Yeah,
that
like it doesn't even really matter. Yeah.
No, because they were so bad. And honestly, that Isaac Tesla touchdown to make it 13 to whatever Green Bay ended up having 27, it's pretty misleading. Like,
I mean, you still a 2-touchdown loss. Like that's a big loss.
Should have been.
But I get what you're saying.
Should have been more. Like they just looked terrible every time they crossed the 50-yard line. It felt like it was a struggle to pick up 4 yards at a time. For how explosive this offense was last season, they had no explosiveness yesterday at all, and that's partly because Jared Goff was under pressure from the get-go the entire time. I just wish Kevin Zeitler would have been prioritized. What's the
number one concern? Because we're talking about all these big things, like
interior offensive line.
Is that truly the thing that you're most worried about? Because
yes,
because it was. I think the lack of pressure on Jordan Love is right there. You know, this is not some elite Green Bay Packers offensive line. It's a good O-line, but this isn't. You're not going up against Philly. And just the lack of literally any pressure the entire game, I think, is incredibly concerning for the entire defense as a whole. But obviously the O-line stuff I understand too. I just was wondering what you think is number one.
All right, let's ask the people then. Let's settle this. Do you think the bigger concern coming out of week number 1 is the offensive line or the defensive line? Because those have been two strengths of the Lions for the past 3 seasons. They've been phenomenal against the run. They've had Aiden Hutchinson getting after the quarterback. This has been a solid front seven, beyond solid front seven. This has been the most dominant offensive line in the NFL. Both of them look like severe problems, severe red flags in week number 1. What is the bigger concern to you, offensive line or defensive line? 989-837-6125. Let us know on the Mitt messages or drop it in the YouTube chat as well. I'm sure we'll see it there. We'll get to some of your guys' thoughts when we come back. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Addison Thormeyer from Farwell High School. With a 3.7 GPA, Addison is a member of the track and field and cross-country teams and played soccer for travel teams competing up in age with girls and playing with the boys.
Oh, I should go try out for the boys team. Like, why not? Because he was the coach for that team. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, worst thing that happens is they don't make the team. So I go and try out, and he ends up calling me and saying, hey, I want you to come play for me. And it became a lot of fun. Ended up being a totally different experience than playing with the girls, and one I don't regret having.
This fall, Addison is now attending Saginaw Valley State University. She'll major in electrical engineering. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Terry Johnson, President and CEO of Greater Midland.
And so spending the time at Dow just gave me such experiences professionally, personally, growth, things around travel, just experiences and opportunities that I could have never imagined even when I was in school. And so, taking the time and finalizing, okay, this is the time to tap out at Dow and to look at what's the next adventure in my journey. And Greater Midland has always been part of my journey as well, being part of the board structures for many, many years and knowing that my kids grew up in the center and my husband and I are very active and it's home for me.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we asked you guys, what's the bigger concern here? Is it the offensive line or is it the defensive line after yesterday's game? Let's see what some people had to say. This person says, it's the offensive line. If they don't get it right, they aren't winning games. Goff can't handle that pressure, and if he can't get set, that means JMO's contract was for nothing in the first year of it. That's a good point. Because JMO getting extended, and that doesn't kick in until a couple of years down the line, so he's signed through 2029. If Goff can't stay protected, they're never going to be able to hit JMO down the field, and that contract's not going to seem worth it at all.
That's a good point. And it prevents them from potentially adding guys to the offensive line in the future in free agency and stuff. So, yeah, that's a good point. I think that it probably is the offensive line. Just the more and more I thought about it after we went to break, that was the Lions' strength last season, was the offense. And they cannot, I mean, even against a good Green Bay defense, but they could not do anything with the amount of pressure that Jared Goff was under. And it's a complete 180 from what we've seen in the last couple of years, which is, of course, incredibly concerning.
And they also couldn't run the ball. It was the lowest yards per rush, 2.1, since Week 6 of 2023 against Tampa, back when DeAndre Swift was still in charge. Can't happen. Wait, was that the Swift season? No.
Swift would have been 2022.
Yeah, no, you're right. My bad. It's still Vita Vea.
It's all right, dude.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for hanging in there with me. This person says, for me, it's the front seven. That line is horrible. Of the 22 runs, the ball carrier was hit from behind the line of scrimmage 16 times. Terrible stuff, guys. This line was not very good. All right, let's take a peek at the YouTube chat. Samantha says, The offensive line was more concerning to me. I think the defensive line will tighten up and be fine. Should, especially when Aleem McNeil comes back, but it still feels like they're a ways away from that actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's not happening until the end of October. We've got a lot of tough games from now until then. And that's like end of October at the earliest. I just wonder if they need to get away from how much they're doing the 3 linebackers with Barnes, Anzalone, and Campbell, because they do that. They run 3 linebackers more than double what the next closest team did. At least that's what they did last season.
All 3 of them nearly saw every single snap.
Yeah, like part of me is like, yeah, probably need to run a little bit more nickel because every team does it. And if you're getting torched through the air like that, probably just going to be worth it to take one of those linebackers off and add an extra DB onto the field. Seems essential.
Yeah, I would say so. But at the same time, like maybe if you're using one of those extra linebackers in a package to get to the quarterback, it can make a little bit more sense. But
it didn't work yesterday
obviously,
regardless.
obviously it didn't work yesterday.
I think that's exactly it, Kyle. We've been so dominant over Green Bay recently, but had a lot working against us week 1.
That's kind of how I felt. Just the more and more after that game, like I said, when I had my about 45 minutes of just driving solo with no audio, no music, nothing, I was just thinking about the game, and I'm just like, how did we not see this coming? Like, why was I so confident? And I just kept coming back to, I was just blinded by the fact that they had been dominant over the Packers, which maybe it is kind of valid that we were blinded by that. You know, I mean, you own a team for so long, you're going to continue to think that way. But when you just looked at all the things that were, like Samantha says, stacked against Detroit coming into this game, whereas Green Bay had just added maybe the best defensive player in the world, like how did we not at least lower our concern level of, man, maybe they actually could lose to Green Bay, you know? It wasn't like a thought in our mind that they could have lost this game, right?
No, not at all,
You know
because
what
I
I'm
thought
saying?
they were still going to be able to run on them behind Sewell.
Like, I'm almost disappointed in myself for being so biased.
Oh, wow, it was that bad of a game.
That's kind of where I'm going. Like, I'm almost disappointed that I was truly that biased about the Lions defeating Green Bay in week 1 when there was just so many points saying they were going to lose this game. I didn't think maybe it would happen the way that it did, but looking back at it, like, of course they lost week 1.
Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions. Look what you did to our guy Kyle. He's disappointed in himself. You guys played so bad.
For real, man.
Disappointed in himself that you guys played that bad.
I had to look myself in the mirror when I got home, and I said, how can I supply people with an unbiased opinion when I was so truly blinded in week 1?
No, don't back off your takes. Don't back off your takes, Kyle.
I'm not backing off my full NFL week 1 takes, that's for sure.
Did pretty good on the spread picks.
Pretty good on the spread picks, baby. John Vicari, L's everywhere. Oh no!
You went 4-1. I'm 4-2. We both have one more game here.
Big stuff.
That Baltimore game destroyed me. Oh, destroyed me. I couldn't believe it. I thought I had another win wrapped up. I was going to be 5-1 heading into Monday Night Football on the spread picks. Nope. Baltimore had other plans. It really is like the worst fourth quarter team ever. Last year, they were number 1 in points per game allowed in the fourth quarter, number 1 in passing yards allowed in the fourth quarter. I thought everything would be different now that they added Starks and Mike Green via the draft. They had Jair Alexander in free agency. Nope. Still the same team in the fourth quarter. Just blew it. Completely blew it.
And then you add that in the fact what they lose at the beginning of the year, like more than any other good team at least.
Just, everyone craps on the Bengals for always losing on early. That's 2 straight years at the least. I don't remember what happened in 23 that Baltimore has lost in that first round or first week. Last year to the Chiefs, this year to the Bills. For some reason, I walk away from that game still feeling like that's the best team in the NFL, though. But what are the odds Derrick Henry is going to fumble again with the game on the line?
Oh, man, that's the worst part of that game, dude. Like, Henry just dominant all game, and really all you're going to remember is, like, he's not the reason they lost, obviously, but that play is probably the reason they lost.
I will not remember Derrick Henry fumble number 1 in this game. I'll remember him stiff-arming everyone into oblivion and breaking free all the time.
That's fair. Awesome game.
Fantastic game. Leduc says in the YouTube, Kyle, I'll say it with you, I will not let a professional sports team affect the way I feel about my self-worth.
That's good stuff. You're right. I do need to implement that. I'm not actually like, that was mainly just a yesterday, like immediate thoughts after the game. Like, what was I thinking? But yeah, that's what happens when you go so long without football. You get so bought in, and then the week 1 happens and things don't go your way, and you're just like, this controls my life a little bit too heavily.
I actually won't even say that with you guys in the mirror. I'm open about it. Yeah, this Lions team affects my day-to-day operations.
No, that's different.
For
He's
3
saying
months.
affecting my self-worth. I think that's a little it probably shouldn't affect my self-worth. How I feel about
when
myself.
the Lions lose, I lose. When the Lions lose,
I'm a loser. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
on the
You're
team.
a loser. You could have done better.
I used to think that about myself after, like, intramural basketball games.
Oh, that's really bad.
I know.
That's really
I'd go
bad,
to bed in college, like, dude, like, we could have won that game because of you. Just staying up late, thinking about that the entire night.
That's really bad.
Losing sleep over it. Now it's just
no.
Alliance. Like, what could I have done better?
I would have rather
How
you
could I have
said
helped
like,
this
"Oh
team?"
man, when my squad lost a Fortnite match because of me or something." That would be better than intramural basketball.
Intramural basketball is way more important than the Fortnite match. I'm sure I used to think about that in high school, though. This is a more recent memory. I feel like I even do that still in pickup basketball games. Just get mad at myself.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Thanks.
I could pick that one up.
Thanks. 989-837-6125. We'll hit the news around the league when we come back. If you're new to the channel here on what should have been a Victory Monday, hit that like and subscribe button if you like it. Share it with a friend. We're the newest Detroit Lions-based, but really just a Michigan-based show here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Launched in June. We'll be here every Monday, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 o'clock to get you through the Detroit Lions season. Get some Tigers in Michigan and Michigan State in as well. But on a Monday, you guys know the drill. It's Detroit Lions clock. All right, 989-837-6125. We'll hit the news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Terry Johnson, President and CEO of Greater Midland.
What faced the most challenges for you? Like, is there a certain role that you were like, public, I know you said public affairs, but there was a certain time period or maybe even a certain event where you're like, okay, this is a challenge I can now take with me throughout my entire career, or any advice that you have for like young professionals that you learned maybe from like a certain lesson?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One, for a period of my Dow career, I managed crisis communications. So nothing's more challenging or a better learning opportunity is when you're kind of feet in the fire, when there's things going on.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
Fall is for planting, and Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center is making it the best time of year to grow. For a limited time, enjoy 40% off select trees, shrubs, and perennials. That's pretty much their entire plant inventory. So whether you're adding curb appeal, refreshing your garden, or planting for the future, they've got the quality, selection, and savings you've been waiting for. Don't miss the fall planting sale at Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, where your garden begins to grow. Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, growing with you this fall.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. A team that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. the Great Lakes lose.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
If you served, we want you to get the health care and benefits you earned. We want you to come to VA.
There's never been a better time to apply. Under a new law called the PACT Act, we've expanded VA care and benefits to millions of people who served and their survivors.
No matter where you served or how long you served, check out va.gov/PACT to learn more about what VA can do for you and your family. Come to VA.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, let's jump right into it. 989-837-6125. Kyle, take it away.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Oh!
What's up, Kyle?
Man, I've been waiting to hit the news all weekend, man.
Really?
Fiending for the news.
Really?
All right, let's get into it. We do got to kind of cap off that Sunday night game with the Bills and the Ravens because of the wild comeback that it was. 41-40. Bills beat the Ravens. Hey, thanks, Sarah. 16 straight points scored by the Bills with 4 minutes left to go. I mean, just an unreal game there. Game of the year, some are saying.
How can it not be? Like, game of the decade, right?
Oh, of the decade.
Of the 20 so far. I can't remember.
That's a bit of a stretch, right?
For regular season games, off the top of your head, you got a better regular season game in the 20s?
No, but I think you can't just really throw that term around. You got to do some research before. You got to kind of dive into it a little bit, right?
I mean, sure.
Game of the decade. Screw it. That was the best game ever.
Ever.
Yeah, like.
All time.
Good. Really good game.
Bill's just know how to play good games, man.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams, when they play each other, it's always a ton of fun.
Instant classic.
Definitely instant classic.
Send it to the Hall of Fame.
All right, Ben, I don't know if you knew, but the Tigers actually played baseball this weekend.
What?
Yes. Let's give a little bit of an update there. Losing 2 of 3 with the White Sox. They're still 20 games over at 82-62. So I figured let's take another quick look at the MLB standings check as far as are the Lions going to be the 1 seed in the American League? Are they going to be the 2 seed? That's the weirdest part about this year. We're so focused on football. We still have potentially the best team in their entire league right now in Detroit. Currently, they hold a half-game back spot of the Toronto Blue Jays from being the 1 versus 2 seed. Either or, it doesn't matter because both of those teams are going to get byes in the first round. It's just who do you want to go up against in the divisional series. But the wild card race in the American League has really picked up out of nowhere. The Seattle Mariners have really started to dive off a little bit. So right now the Mariners hold that 3rd spot. But then you have the Rangers, Royals, and Guardians. All 3 of them are within 2.5 games back of Seattle for that final spot. And then even the Rays are hanging on a little bit, 4 games back. So it's a tight race out in the American League wildcard race.
No Tigers game today. They start a big series with the Yankees tomorrow in New York. 7:05 first pitch. There you go.
Yeah, they do. And then one of those teams, the Cleveland Guardians, their guy, Jose Ramirez, he has become 2nd all-time on the Cleveland franchise RBI list ever. Shout out to Jose Ramirez passing Jim Thome for that. Who's first, Ben? See your Cleveland history.
I don't know.
It's Earl Averill, of course.
Wouldn't have gotten that.
All right, Week 3 college football AP poll. It's out. Michigan loses to Oklahoma. They're still ranked, though. They're number 23. Oklahoma moves up to number 13. A couple other notable things here I'll talk about in the AP poll. Illinois jumps up to number 9. They're into the top 10 after their huge win over Duke on the road. Oregon's up to number 4 after winning 69-3 over Oklahoma State.
I forgot to buy my stock on running up the score on someone who talks trash to you. That was good stuff.
Yeah. And then FSU is up to number 10 after being unranked in Week 1. And USF, after upsetting the Gators, are up to number 18 in the rankings.
USF's kind of fun. Florida is not. I live bet Florida in the middle of that game.
I was going to say, that was like your team this year.
I liked Florida, but they can't even beat the teams that aren't hard on their schedule. You should see their schedule coming up. It's bad.
Yeah,
bad stuff.
Going back to that Oregon-Oklahoma State game, I mean, 69-3, that's the worst loss of the Mike Gundy era at Oklahoma State. And then also, it's the worst loss the program has had since 1907.
Hey, maybe Mike Gundy should keep his mouth shut when there's a top 5 team coming to town. Or when you're going to
when you're going to their
when
town.
you're going to their
Yeah.
town and you start
Oklahoma
talking crap
State,
about
though,
their
I mean, it's not like they're some bad program. They should not be losing 69-3.
Oregon's on a different level, man.
Unreal stuff. I mean, at one point, there must have been a touchdown that was called back because when I was checking the score of this during the CMU game, I saw it was 75-3, and I was like, what? And I assume a touchdown got called back or whatever, like the second that I checked it, but just unreal stuff.
Dante Moore, the Detroit kid, just lighting it up for Oregon out there.
Exciting stuff. All right, more NFL stuff. Actually, let's do this quick college football one before we do the
You're
rest
not
of
going to give us some CMU stuff? You were there.
CMU lost to Pitt. I mean, what else is there to say?
That Pittsburgh's coach
Pittsburgh
is stupid.
backdoor covers at the end of the game.
Yeah, the game over. He could have just taken a knee. Nope, need 6 more.
Messed up stuff. Look, I know the
Middle
scoreboard's not
fingers
going to tell
everywhere,
it.
man.
Central was down by a score in the middle of the third quarter. You know, that Pittsburgh team is good. They received some votes to be ranked this week. They're a good team. CMU, Michigan next week. Should be fun.
Yeah.
No
Sharon Moore.
No Sharon Moore, that's right. Oh, what's he going to be doing, you think?
Not coaching the team,
actually,
not practicing.
What do you think, like when Harbaugh was out for those games at the end of the year as well 2 years ago?
Well, Harbaugh at least was allowed to coach the team
What do you
leading up
think-
to the game. Now Moore's not even allowed to be there.
What do you do, though, during the game? Like
During the game? You
Yeah.
probably watch it, Kyle.
Okay,
Probably
man.
watch
Let
it.
me just move on then. Stupid question. Yeah, my bad.
I think the better question is, what do you do the week leading up to the game? Like, are you scouting the other? Like, is he even allowed to communicate with his assistant coaches? I would assume
I don't know.
no.
Let's move on because it was a dumb question. All right,
I'm sorry.
more college football news.
I'm sorry.
Bill Belichick, he got his first win finally, 20-3 over Charlotte, the 49ers. And then also asked post-game about the whole, banning the Pats scouts. He confirms that, yeah, they're not allowed. He, quote, says, well, it's obvious I'm not welcome at their facility, so they're not welcome at ours.
Petty.
Very.
Petty.
Very, very petty.
Like
All right,
Tom.
back to some more, NFL news. A couple tight ends suffering injuries in their wins this weekend. George Kittle and Brock Bowers. Their teams get victories. They both suffer injuries, though, in their opener. Brock Bowers seems to be fine, but George Kittle is awaiting an MRI. I don't think have gotten news on that, at least since the start of today's show. So hopefully Kittle's all good. Obviously one of the more fun players in the entire league, but seems to continuously be banged up. I mean, tight end is obviously one of the more injury-prone positions.
You know the meme where the guy's like, I don't want to play with this toy anymore, the Toy Story meme? And there's something else that's more enticing now because he's got the new Buzz Lightyear toy. He doesn't want to play with Woody anymore. That is me with George Kittle now that Brock Bowers is in the league. Brock Bowers was the best player in the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday. If you were just watching Red Zone, what guy consistently just put your jaw on the floor? It was Brock Bowers. I don't know if I even said this earlier. I might have just said it to you off air. He's got a little Megatron to him, to where it's you have to run into this guy and basically just slow him down because you're not going to tackle him one-on-one. You just got to run into him as hard as you can and hope your other teammates can get there and help you bring him down because you're not knocking him off his balance just by yourself. Throw yourself into him and hope that there's other guys there. He's a freak of nature.
And now he's got Geno throwing in the ball, man. Big game from Geno Smith, 360 through the air for him. Whew. Team that he beat, Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. We actually just got this news during the show, and it relates to our previous thing we just talked about. Vrabel actually says Bill Belichick is welcome at the Patriots facility. This is like the dumbest thing ever. Why is this even a story? Of course, Bill Belichick should be welcomed at the Pats facility, especially with Mike Vrabel as their head coach.
No kidding.
Weird stuff there.
I think it's just, I don't know, Vrabel probably just doesn't want to be around Robert Kraft ever again.
Yeah, I would say that.
Can't blame him.
Okay, a couple more things. Last NFL thing. I wanted to really know what was Travis Hunter's snap count, so let's tell the people. Week 1, he plays 39 offensive snaps, 6 defensive snaps, so not really the true two-way guy that maybe we wanted to see, but obviously much more heavily focused on offense with Liam Cohen being the coach there. They got a big win anyway, so it's not like it was a tight game, needed to put him out there for defense or anything. I'm just kind of interested to keep track of this throughout the season.
Oh, we'll be keeping track of it, all right. We'll be keeping track.
Yeah. Pistons news. Yeah, that's right. Malik Beasley, just about an hour ago, posting on Instagram with a large caption at the end of it. He says, "My decision is near."
Oh, he moved back into his apartment, didn't he?
Oh, he moved back into his apartment in Detroit. The Pistons posted a video the other day of just some practice stuff going on, and Ron Holland was no longer wearing number 5. He was rocking number 0, or the double zeros that he wore last year. But there was no confirmation if that video was an old video or actually new video. But that's just a little bit interesting.
Get him
stuff.
back here,
Beasley
man.
wore number 5 last year. That's
Get him
why that
back.
matters. Last news, the U.S. Open concluded yesterday in tennis. Carlos Alcaraz defeats Jannik Sinner. This rivalry has been going on for quite some time now between the number 1 and number 2 tennis players in the world on the men's side. Alcaraz claims the number 1 spot over Sinner with his victory. I was actually almost going to buy tennis watching stock because during this weekend, I was actually keeping up with this. With the amount of sports that was going on, I was actually keeping up with this because I was pretty interested. So I'm starting to vibe with the tennis stuff a little bit more.
I was there on the women's side. I didn't really care about the men's.
Okay.
Invested in the comeback of Naomi Osaka. Other than that, When's the Ryder Cup? Couple weeks away?
That's coming up. Yeah, I think that is the
2 weekends
I think
away.
that's next week. I'm pretty sure. I think it starts early next week. Oh no, 2 weeks. Yeah,
perfect.
Last weekend of September.
Perfect. All right. 989-837-6125. We've got 2 traditions to close at every show if you're new here. The first of those being the lock of the day. Second of those being guessing what Colin Cowherd opens with. He takes over Airways at noon. It is the Ben Bosscher Show, live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Before you go, let me tell you about our friends at Aird Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the exact same. Everyone has a little bit of different needs. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for, well, you. Life, home, auto, fiscal insurance, it's all available with Farm Bureau Aird. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. The experience matters. That's why Aird Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go. Way to go if you want some Detroit Lions content. It's right here on 100.9 The Mitt. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Addison Thormeyer from Farwell High School. With a 3.7 GPA, Addison is a member of the track and field and cross-country teams and played soccer for travel teams competing up in age with girls and playing with the boys.
Oh, I should go try out for the boys team. Why not? Because he was the coach for that team. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Worst thing that happens is they don't make the team. So I go and try out, and he ends up calling me and saying, hey, I want you to come play for me. And it became a lot of fun, ended up being a totally different experience than playing with the girls, and one I don't regret having.
This fall, Addison is now attending Saginaw Valley State University. She'll major in electrical engineering. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Discover championship golf with amazing views at Apple Mountain in Freeland. Whether you're chasing birdies or just out for a relaxing round, Apple Mountain offers a stunning 18-hole experience for every skill level. Perfect greens, scenic fairways, and a course that plays as beautifully as it looks. Book your tee time now at applemountain.com. Apple Mountain. Golf elevated. Just minutes from Saginaw, but miles from the ordinary. Looking for the perfect golf getaway? Tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem. Whether you're a scratch golfer or just out for fun, Sandy Ridge offers a beautifully maintained 18-hole course, friendly staff, and unbeatable rates, plus a brand new clubhouse. Book your tee time today at sandyridgegolfcourse.com or call 989-631-6010. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, where great golf meets pure Michigan beauty.
In every town, there's a team that brings us together. that stands for more than just the game. It's tradition. It's family. It's where we belong. Because this isn't just baseball. It's community. It's pride. It's home. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said. Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Oh, welcome back in. You know, this is the first Monday after the Lions season for the Ben Bosscher Show. Hope everyone enjoyed. This is the start of something brand new here in the Great Lakes Bay region. And, I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, it doesn't really matter where you are. We appreciate it here. We're trying to make this thing as big as possible. If this is maybe an alternative to other sports talk stations wherever, hopefully you guys like this one and maybe can become loyal fans of ours. Maybe not fans. I don't know. Listeners. I think listeners is a better word. All fans of the Lions.
We're
here,
fans
though.
of the people that are listeners.
That's a great way to look at it. So hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Only takes a second, but goes a long way for us. With that being said, it's time to make some money. It is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We're chasing records here, Kyle. We're chasing records here today, aren't we?
Oh, are we?
I think we are.
Yeah.
Fill the people.
Potential chance to break a record today for Ben because last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all green. He hit three straight. And if you are a loyal or at least been listening to this Lock of the Day segment for a while, you would know that Ben has never hit more than 3 days in a row. 3 has been the cap. You've done it like 3 times now, 3 separate times.
Sheesh.
But you have yet to get that 4th one in a row. It's like when the Rockies lose 8 games in a row. They never get to 9, you know? They'll
Somehow,
always
some
win.
way.
So the good news is for you, you had all weekend to kind of regroup, and now you can win again today, potentially. I'll give the people an update, though, on your numbers. You did go up on the week last week, so it was your 5th up week, 5-9 all time through the 14 weeks. This is week 15.
Yeah, but we put all our stocks into football season, right?
Right.
So technically, aren't we 1-0 in football
Well,
season?
on the month, you are up 0.92 units, so I guess you could call that kind of part of football, as there was only one non-football bet made in that time.
Sweet.
18.92 units down all time, though. 22, 43, and 1 record.
Damn baseball season.
Right. What are you cooking up today?
I'm keeping it simple today. No player props. Well, I'll certainly bet on some player props tonight. You know when they send you those little notifications like, hey, you get a little profit boost.
50% profit boost.
Okay, if you insist. But I'll keep it simple for the people today. It's as simple as Minnesota -1.5. I've been talking all offseason that I think this Minnesota team is the team to mess with in the NFC North other than the Lions. Now, Green Bay obviously put together a pretty good opening week 1 performance, but I still think the world of this Minnesota team, and specifically the coaching staff, between Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, that might be the best 2 play callers in the same team that there is in football. Maybe the Chiefs have an argument for Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, but that Minnesota team is not too far behind either. I think the world of what they've done to set up Justin Jefferson to succeed, way upgraded offensive line. You've got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison's not playing, but you still got Hawkinson. This is to me one of the best situations that I know he's not a rookie, but a first-year quarterback has been put into in quite some time. One of the best teams in football last season. I think they're upgrading at their quarterback position based on the way Sam Darnold played last night or yesterday. I guess it wasn't at night. I think his success was mostly because of Kevin O'Connell. I think you're going to see that translate with J.J. McCarthy too, and all the horror stories that we've seen out of Chicago Bears training camp. There was that hit piece put on Caleb Williams from that Chicago media outlet. Did you see that this weekend?
No.
The Friday news dump?
Inform me.
So there was a Friday news dump. Let me pull this up. There was a Friday news dump from a place called, let's see, what is it called? This guy, Sam Morrison, NFL, he basically just lit this Chicago. Actually, that's not the piece. Here it is. Now I found it. This guy wrote a piece, Tyler Dunn, Chicago Beat website, House of Dysfunction Part 1, The Curious Case of Caleb Williams, just basically trashing him and saying a lot of the disaster last year was his fault too, and he's just been protected this entire time. Horror stories out of training camp. That Ben Johnson and the coaching staff didn't realize how much of a task it was going to be to take on the Caleb Williams thing. Yeah, apparently there's a lot more on the coach's plates and getting that guy right in the head. But he's the only guy that has wrote this piece, so I don't know what's going on down there. But I'm not really vibing with anything going on in Chicago right now.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Minnesota here, man. I'll back up what I've been saying all offseason long. I think Minnesota wins tonight by that 1.5.
Yeah, I actually put the money line on the graphic here. It's supposed to be Vikings -1.5, so -112 is the correct odds on that. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I picked this as well for the spread picks. We were both in on this one, Vikings -1.5. I just don't know how you can be confident with anything in Chicago as far as how training camp went with them. So, I'm with you on this one.
Okay, there it is. Minnesota -1.5 is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, let's predict Colin's Open here. I get the first pick, right?
Yes, you do get the first pick.
Because
today's episode 69.
Nice. I honestly think there's a halfway decent chance he takes the Lions here.
Oh, really?
I do, but that's not the team I'm going to go with. I'm gonna say he has to stick with that Sunday night game.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not be that?
I wrote this down late last night when I was just kind of had the computer out, and I was just going to say this is the year for Lamar Jackson. That was going to be my prediction for what Colin opens with. This is the year of Lamar. He's going to win the MVP and finally get over the hump, make it to the Super Bowl. I feel like I can't do that anymore.
I mean, he for sure leads with the game last night. There's no way he doesn't.
How about this? He's going to say those are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's basically going to dismiss Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
That's the open because of last night's game.
I could see that. I like that.
And I know you're going to accuse me of cheating for taking both
No, that's
teams.
fine because I'm going to zag from that game anyways, just because I feel like with the amount of stuff that happened, I might as well go a different direction as far as a different game, just in case, on the rare chance that he doesn't.
Lions are out.
Caleb Williams plays football tonight. I think
you're
that's
so
fair. Right. I'm leaning that way. I also do think, like, if he is going to do anything Lions, it's not actually going to be Lions. It's going to be Micah Parsons in the Packers direction. But I will go something Caleb Williams Bears tonight. That's what I'm going to go with. More so like a preview / prediction of Caleb Williams and the Bears tonight. Whether it's probably going to be bad because he's been pretty low on Caleb this season. It's probably a bad answer because this is just guaranteed his lead tomorrow. Whatever happens with Caleb Williams tonight, but who knows? He might take it a day early. So that's what I'm going to go with. I still think you have a much better chance of getting this right.
You want to guess how many pressures Jared Goff gave up yesterday?
Ooh,
or not Jared Goff, the offensive line.
It's up.
I'm seeing it on the website right now. Yeah.
15.
13.
Okay.
Not as many as I would have thought.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, I think Goff was a little bit more uncomfortable than he probably should have been.
3 sacks.
15-11, by the way, is the score on guessing Colin's open. Ben is up.
I don't even know if Christian Mahogany allowed 4 pressures, Tate Ratledge 3, Graham Glasgow 2. So just those 3 guys alone 4. Not great. Let's check out before we head out. Let's check out some of these run blocking grades because I'd imagine these are even worse. Yeah, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker, it's in the red if that tells you anything.
Yeah, that's not shocking.
Really bad. All right, guess how many pressures the Lions ended up having? The new sacks pressures.
Like 7? Is that too high?
You nailed it.
Really?
7 exactly. But how many of those came from the defensive line? Hutchinson only had 2. Tyleik Williams had 1.
Probably 4 then.
Derek Barnes had 1. Davenport had 1. O'Connor had 1.
Oh, so nearly all of
Al-Qaeda
them.
Muhammad had 1.
So all of them.
Except for Derek Barnes, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it depends on where his...
Nobody had more than 1, though? Like,
it's bad. Hutchinson with 2. Ugh. I mean, they were scheming pretty well.
10 a game last year.
They were scheming pretty well against him, but yeah.
He did win. He somehow had a 20% win rate, though.
I mean, I think that's
bizarre.
It must be more so of his one-on-one stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was spinning into a lot of double teams and everything yesterday. Let's check out some of these Jared Goff numbers are bad.
Boy.
They're real bad. What do you want to know? Is there anything specific? Turnover-worthy
just
plays?
start running through them.
Turnover-worthy plays, 3 of them. 6.8% of his attempts. That's a pretty large number.
What's the time to throw? I guess I was pretty interested in that.
0 big-time plays, by the way. That should go as no surprise. Yeah. Time to throw is 2.95. I guess I'm more so concerned about how that stacks up versus the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is time in the pocket, quarterback. Not every grade is in, so...
That doesn't sound too abnormal as far as how Goff usually is. Like, he's pretty quick to release the ball anyways. This time it just became more of a result of being under pressure.
Jalen Hurts had the most time to throw. Justin Fields had the 3rd.
Both mobile guys, by the way. So I think that kind of plays into it.
Jared Goff actually had more time to throw than Jordan Love.
Really?
That's bizarre. Yeah. No, I'm actually shocked by that.
Yeah, that's really
Maybe
surprising.
it's just because... No, that's really weird. I don't know. Maybe I got to let these things get sorted out a little bit more. We'll have the updated PFF stuff for you tomorrow. We'll jump into the Michigan and Michigan State stuff tomorrow too. Chip Lindsey. I'm just gonna spoil it right now. He's going to be public enemy number 1 on this show tomorrow. That was some of the worst play calling I think I've ever seen in the Michigan game.
Who was worse, Chip Lindsey or John Morton?
Chip Lindsey for sure.
Yeah.
Because John Morton, at least can be the offensive line was just bad. Chip Lindsey just continued to line up in the pistol formation and hand the ball off over and over and over and over again, rather than just letting Bryce Underwood sit in the pocket and throw the ball.
Wait, so you're telling me tomorrow we're not having a conversation on who the best quarterback in the state is?
No, we can do that too. Because there's a real argument for Aiden Childs now. It'd be nice if, Chip Lindsey used his quarterback rather than just handing the ball off over and over, but we'll see. That's a tomorrow issue. Hope everyone enjoyed the show today. Seemed like we had a lot of new people in the YouTube as well, so hopefully you guys liked it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you enjoyed the show. Share it with a friend. We will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. to jump into the Michigan and Michigan State conversations. I'm sure we'll have a few more things to say about this Detroit Lions team as well. Tigers play tomorrow, so a lot to preview this week here on the Ben Bosscher Show. 9 a.m. to noon. Don't forget it. Hit the notification button to get notified when we go live right here on 100.9 The Mitt.